What up, what up? What's up, what's up? Getting some invites out, everybody. Welcome, welcome. What's up, Rikers? Thanks for coming in, brother. Appreciate it. Get them shares out if you can. Get the shares out. See if we can break that record this week.
What up, Jessica? What up, Rockers? What up, PC? What up, Rhonda? What up, Pure Country? What up, everybody that's coming through? What up, Tack Boss?
Tack's the share, man. Look at him. Nice, buddy. Appreciate you, bro.
Reptiles group chat like live.
That's what we want.
Boom. Guys, keep it up. Keep the share. Right. Get on the phone. Get everybody to come on over. This is where it's at.
105,000 likes plus last week. 105,000. 73,000 the week before. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Fail Brothers, thank you, thank you, thank you. The shit's old, but I love it. Thank you, Knockout. You're the man. Once we see our guests roll through, thank you for the love.
Share this to the universe, guys. Okay. Super cool. Super cool. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Thank you, Rhonda, as always. Knockout, Caleb, you rocking it, guys. We check the guests here.
Night Bros, what's going on? Naughty business time. Naughty business time.
What's up, Kevin? Thanks for coming in.
Come on. What's going on, Holly?
Brothers, what's up? What's up?
Holly Nicole, what's up,
Rich, you the
what
man. TNA Chameleons. Awesome. Thank you, thank you. Devs, for real. Thank you,
What up,
sir.
Dad? What up? What up?
Rich, how
What
the
up,
man?
Rich? What up,
Talk it out,
Rich?
shit, bro.
Boom, boom, boom.
Whatever happened to David Banner? I like that guy.
Yeah, whatever happened to him?
I don't know. That Dirty South fucking rap, that was good, though, man. That Dirty South. That's why I like the Memphis
What up,
rappers.
Oblivion? What up, big dog?
Devs, good sir. Thank you, thank you. Amuri, hi. What's up? Thanks for hopping in, brother. Get them shares out.
All y'all, thanks for coming through. Hang out, keep it coming.
Oh,
Keep
there's our
recruiting
man.
for the
There's
show.
our man.
Boom,
There's our
boom.
man.
Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Kyle be coming
Exotic A1
up
Pets, thank you.
soon. Exotic A1. Boom. Yes, sir, big dog. Appreciate you. PC Balls, appreciate y'all. Every one of y'all coming through, supporting the Naughty Business Show.
I see
Keeping
our
this
guest
live
in
action
here.
rolling.
He's getting warmed up. He's getting warmed up. Like a pimp.
Well, you know. Kind of easy when you listen to the G'd up sound.
All right, I cut them tunes. I just like to get amped up like I do when them invites go out. You know how
Their
I do.
speakers pumping has a bump on the pound.
This shirt was pre-COVID, by the way. Got that mask.
All right, guys. So, anybody new in the comments that are coming through, let's just put this out there now. It's going to be guest only in the box tonight. We're going to have Kyle.
There it
It'll
is.
run Kyle as long as Kyle wants to run with it. And then we'll ride it by ear as it goes. But on that note, Kyle's jumping on. Let's give him the big round of applause and all
Let's
this.
get them clap emojis up. Let's
Right,
break
let's
that
get her done. Let's get her
105,000
done.
likes,
Come on.
guys.
I'm just trying to get some shares in here.
You're good.
You know,
It takes a minute for sure.
well, and I don't know how many thousand people I got, so I'm just sharing it with people that I kind of talk to, even people that that have nothing to do with the snakes even.
Ha! Hey, man, good people brings good people. What can you say?
Oh, you bet. Dang right. What up, Mo?
How many people do you guys usually get in here?
Let me give you the big box. We usually have 600 to 800 roll through. We hold a viewership of 40 to 80 at all times. Around 40 to 60 is a good steady number for 90 minutes.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And then last week we had 105.
That's more than some of these other podcasts that are like on YouTube and all these places.
I don't know, dude. We had 105,000 likes last week, 73,000 the week before, and we roll in the 30s to 45,000 the weeks prior. This is only week 6, sir. Week 6.
Okay.
It's great.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's honestly, full disclosure, this whole thing is snowballing. It is awesome.
Okay. I mean, because you're going to have Bob Vu on tomorrow night too,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So is it going to be like a 2 nights a week show, or how are you doing it? Just when
No.
people are available?
Nope. Special for you guys because here was the thinking, and I'll tell you. It's because Bob's about to get really busy with that Southeast Reptile Expo, and I didn't know if he would have time. And I thought it would be better and more advantageous to promote a show before it comes as opposed to talk about it after post-mortem. So I thought if I can get him, and you guys are ball python, stalwarts, the big cats. And I was like, well, why spread it out and bump other guests? Let's make an extra show this week and just hit it really hard and give you guys both a platform. Because next week is someone very different. We'll announce it later on. We're scheduled, dude. We're already looking at November. We're already booked.
Are you going to you're not just doing ball python people, though. You're doing like reptiles and like different things.
Yeah.
Every week is someone different. We've had tarantula, chameleon. We've had general husbandry, people that are really just huge on social media. We've had boas. We've had ball python up and comers. Now we got some ball python veteran heavy hitters. So we're spreading our ball python people out, and we try to focus on a topic that they agree to is their wheelhouse. We don't want to bore people with the same old crap.
Yup. And I mean, any ball python person is like kind of we're all kind of doing the same thing, but at the same time, like, I mean, I got a female right behind me that she was egg bound, and I took a needle and I jam them up through the eggs, and I suck the insides of the eggs out so that they can the oviducts twist sometimes inside the females. And then they can't pass those eggs because the pressure that goes up against it.
Right.
What happens is that doesn't allow it to release and go out. So if you suck all that out of there, you don't got to give them a surgery. Sometimes you still have to give them surgery, but this is like an at-home type thing that a person could try. And if that doesn't work, then you go the next step.
Yeah. And I want you to expound upon that because, I mean, if things are going that badly, you're going to lose the snake anyhow. So you're making an effort to at least have a fighting chance to save your female, right?
Yes, exactly. And sometimes, I mean, I've had a guy that, for some reason, I don't know why, but he gets more egg-bound females than I've ever seen. I don't know if he's bothering them when they're laying or what's really happening. I don't really ask the questions because I don't want to prod in people's business that's really not mine, and I just I just take care of it and try to do my best for the animal, and then I send it back to him. Like he's already had 2 this season. I've maybe had 2 or 3 in 15 years.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. Could temps have something to do with that or not? It just happened.
I'm not 100% sure, and I know he had some. And I know this year he had some construction going on his building. So I mean, they were like jackhammering and all
stress. Yeah.
So I mean, that could be part of it too. I don't know.
Right.
So, what are the signs and symptoms leading up to that made you come to that decision?
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you have a female have a pre-lay shed, usually it's 30 to like up to like 45 days is what you would wait for a female to lay. Well, the problem is if it's getting into the 50 to 60 days after the pre-lay shed, the problem with that is that snake's not going to lay those eggs. Or sometimes they'll kick out one and it's a bad egg, and then they'll kick out the rest if you wait like a week. Or, you know, sometimes the females literally can tell when the eggs are bad, so they kick them out a week before they're laying the good ones. And I've also had them too where they've kicked them out, like they lay all of them, and they literally somehow sort through them, and they kick the one out of the pile. You know, the pile of eggs that they're sitting on.
Right.
Have the one on the outside. Sometimes they're good. You got to candle them. But sometimes, no, they're definitely bad. And odds are, if it's like two of them, one of them is bad.
Is the female in distress? Is she writhing? Is she gaping? Is she wrapping the bowl? Is there something weird?
I've seen them where they get kind of dehydrated looking.
Okay.
They get a little bit dehydrated looking, and they kind of, you know, they just don't look like they should. So and I've done it. I've probably done this 10 times. I mean, there's YouTube videos on how to do it and everything like that. I mean, this isn't nothing new that you can't learn from YouTube. I mean, I learned from one other person that kind of showed me how to do it and told me how to do it. That's how I learned. And like I've had two friends send me animals to try to do it because they don't know how to do it and they're afraid.
Yeah.
Some people are just afraid. I mean, they're not really afraid of losing the animal, but they're just they're afraid to do the whole thing in itself. I mean,
a question from the comments: what gauge needle? And then, and more technical, how many scoots proximal or north of the cloaca did you go? What distance do you go up?
If they got 5 eggs in them, I put them right up. You go right up through the belly. You go up through the bottom side of the snake, and you go right into the egg, and you suck the insides of the egg out. It can go halfway up the body as long as you feel the eggs.
Right.
You know where the eggs are, because when a female's egg bound, or even right before they're about to lay, you can literally see the eggs in the belly, and you know where they are. So that's how I kind of know. And I don't know. I think the gauge of the needle was like 14, but I don't have it in here. I got it down in my office because I don't do it here. I'll do it like in the shower in my office with the animal. I like to soak them really well. You know, I like to maybe soak them for a half hour before I do it. Sometimes it just helps the skin get in like warm water. It just helps the skin and everything like that. And the female gets a little bit more relaxed, where, you know, they're not tensed up. I mean, like I said, I've got one right behind me that I did already like about 3 or 4 days ago, and she hasn't passed anything yet, but she also hasn't eaten either. So it might take her a week. It might take her 2 weeks. You know, sometimes it takes 6 months for them to pass them completely, all of them, you know.
Wow.
And if a person is afraid, they can take it to the vet, but it's literally $2,200 to save the animal.
Wow.
And if you only have and 90% of the time the eggs will be no good, so you don't get a clutch out of it. You spend $2,200. You take a chance of the female not breeding again, so it's all in your hands on really what you want to do.
Wow.
You know. So that's why I just have done it a few times. I've done it with my own animals. Even I did it with 1 or 2 over the last 15 years. Like I said, I've only had 1 or 2. My buddies had like 3 in the last 5 years, you know, and sometimes it's just 1 egg. Sometimes it's a bunch, you know, it just depends. Like I noticed when I first started disturbing them while they're laying, if you see a female laying, just leave her alone. Don't even go back in there for like 4 or 5 hours. Just leave her. Because if you keep going in there and pulling that tub open, that noise, and just she can feel her body moving, so she knows, you know, she gets stressed out is what happens, and then they tighten up and they don't want to release those eggs.
Do you aspirate all the eggs, or how do you know what's the trouble one?
All of them.
Right.
Any egg that's in there, I do all of them.
Right.
Wow.
I don't do just one, because here's why. Well, if they're all twisted, you just try to do what's best for the animal and get them out of there, especially with an egg-bound female that's uncomfortable. I mean, like I said, they look a little dehydrated, you know, and stuff like that. So it's just, you know, that's just what I've done. I mean, there's many people that do this. You know, it's just something that I guess I'm good at. I mean, I've done it multiple times, and most of the snakes, I mean, I've only had one casualty, but the only reason that was because the guy that sent it to me didn't tell me like how long she was egg bound. So it was too long. So the eggs were already like solidified inside that female. They turn solid, like no good, you know?
Right.
If you incubate an egg and the egg goes bad during incubation, sometimes the eggs will literally like turn solid. They turn like a jello on the inside.
Right.
I mean, like I don't know how long you guys been doing this. So, I mean, there's things that I might talk about that you probably never seen, you know? So like I said, when the eggs go bad, they literally some of them turn like a jello inside, and then they get like solid.
Yeah, no, Dred's had some more success with, you know, ball python clutches on the ground. I've been doing with reptiles for 30 years, and, you know, commercially and stuff long ago. So I've seen this stuff. You're not going to get, and there's a lot of experienced people in the chat. I see all of our usual folks, and a lot of people are sharing. So don't tell us, you know, everything you can, even if it's technical. I'm good. I think they are too. That's what people want to hear. This is stuff that you just don't get a chance to ask experienced breeders, you know?
Don't hold back, run with it. Right. We'll figure it out. we need to hear the nitty gritty.
So we had 10,000 likes by 7:05 p.m.
Yeah,
so
we did. It was quick. Y'all keep it going. We're 40 plus. Keep it going, guys. Keep it going. There he goes.
You know what? I'm just sharing it with more people.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Did you use an ultrasound to guide your efforts, or palpation?
You mean as far as like egg bounds type things?
Yeah, when you're guiding the needle in to aspirate, are you using?
No, dude. I just literally I'll take a snake out and show you how I kind of show you how it's done. I'll try to take a camera, set my camera like somehow so that I can show you how I actually do it. I won't
take all the time. I mean, this is good stuff that we just can't find the answers, you know, this candidly. So
but yes, but on this note, guys, do your research first. Yeah, put your animal's well-being first. Okay, if you know somebody that knows how to do it, get them over there. If you need vet assistance, that as well. Okay,
I'm just gonna set this snake on the floor.
He's just showing us some stuff, so. Okay. We're not telling you. Put him on the screen.
So this is a true ghost female, but she's not gravid or anything, but I'm just going to show you. So the eggs will literally be like, you know, where my hand is, like right here. You just find a belly scale. You find a belly scale like this, and you literally poke the needle. You poke the needle right through the belly scale into the egg, and then you suck the things out. You literally can see the eggs in the female right in this area, and you poke them right through the belly scale. Like you see where the separation is in between them scales. You peel that back, stick the needle inside there, and you just suck all that stuff that's inside. You know, you suck all the insides of the egg out. And then what happens is the oviducts inside there, they're like a thin skin, you know, like an intestine. So they let loose, and they untwist, and then the egg has.
We got a Wi-Fi range. We lost the Wi-Fi.
I've done video. I'm on no Wi-Fi.
No, you were breaking up. You froze.
Are you
for a
guys
minute
here
there,
or
bud.
no?
Yeah,
We're
we're
good.
good. You're good.
Okay.
Basement in the comments.
Yeah, sometimes the Wi-Fi is, I mean, yeah, I just, the problem is with a metal roof also, my internet is horrible.
Yeah.
Like even
Yeah, that
downstairs
jacks
where
you
my
up bad.
downstairs where my router is, yeah, I have to have like the little I forgot Wi-Fi extenders even in the house.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Is the Wi-Fi
if
password
anybody
by
has
Giant
any
Snake?
questions,
Yeah, someone did. Do you give an iodine bath afterwards?
I'm
What's
sure there's
your
gonna be people
aftercare?
saying some stuff. No, I just take rubbing alcohol and I wipe it on the animal.
Okay.
I actually dip the needle. Hold on, I'm gonna switch the camera back around. But what I do is I literally wipe the snake a little bit with rubbing alcohol, dip the needle in rubbing alcohol, push it up in there, suck it all out, pull it out, and then I'll wash the snake off even with a little bit of rubbing alcohol and like a piece of paper towel or cotton swab on the belly. Because like I said, it's just a small hole that goes up through there.
Okay. Okay, balls. Speaking of okay, what's up, guys?
I mean, I don't know who that guy is, but
Someone-
he's just talking some. He's
Oh,
just
you
talking
had
some
you had a
nonsense.
fan.
Yeah, we don't pay no attention to half of it, or they get stupid. We just boot
some of
them.
the Brazilian people that are in here, I actually know from other lives, so that's why I invited them. But I don't know who this other person is.
Yeah, no, we're good. It's all good. We don't.
So how's the prognosis? You've done this multiple times. Has that female successfully bred and laid a good clutch for you later? And if so, how much later? A year, 3, 5?
I've had them go right the next year.
Oh,
I've even given.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
I've even given them like one female. I mean, this is a little unorthodox. I mean, I'm not telling no one to do this at all. This is
full disclosure, do not copy. Trained professional.
This is something. Okay, so like probably 8 years ago, I had a female that was egg bound. It had one egg left in it, and it was twisted inside the oviduct, but it was right at the vent. And I took a razor blade, and I put the egg towards the vent. Thanks everybody for the gifts. I'm not gonna have just anybody that's in here. Thanks. I'm not gonna keep saying thank you to stop what I'm talking about, but I'm thanking everybody right now for the gifts. But anyways, so what I do is I push that egg right to the vent, and I took a razor blade and I cut the oviduct and I squeezed the egg out. I gave the female a year off, and she laid 14 eggs the second year of after I did it. So no issues.
You did a snake episiotomy without sutures, and she went 14 eggs the next year?
Yes.
Yep. So like,
Wow, dude.
Yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't recommend anybody doing something like that. That was just something I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. I mean, and the thing is, some people would never know we'd never know about these things if people didn't do it.
Right. You would. How else you gonna learn if you don't take the risk?
Well, you don't
have
get to where you are unless you push the envelope, dude.
Yeah, you have
can't
to
get there.
go big or go home. Right, stay on the damn porch if you're not gonna take a risk and learn something.
No, you're exactly right. And see, that's kind of like, I mean, I even had a snake with tumors inside of its mouth. They were like these tumors, and they kept appearing like fatty tumors. And I cut them out, and finally they went away. I mean, it wasn't a mouth rot, because a mouth rot, you can squeeze on it and it comes out like bloody and like curdy. I mean, like I said, I know I didn't cut my hair. I've been sending people a bald picture of myself with a filter, and they think I really cut my hair.
Oh, they want you to look like Dread.
Yeah.
You got some fans in the audience that really love your teeth. They wanted you to smile more. You got some teeth fans out there. You
Oh
got
yeah,
A+.
man. We got a teeth fetish
My
going down
friend,
here.
it's because they're not real. They're not real teeth. I mean, they are real teeth, but they have covers.
Don't.
I don't care. I don't care.
I'm just kidding you, brother.
It was funny. I'm over here laughing about it. This is good.
Lady cat.
Lady cat.
But anyways, no, and like I said, if you guys have any questions and you want to learn anything, I mean, I got an ultrasound is right here next to me. I got the gel. I was gonna try to do some ultrasounding and show you guys on camera.
Yes.
Man, run with it. Right, we're down. Whatever you want to do.
What I'll do is I'll show you females at like different stages, and I got it on a cart. I'm going to try to do that and talk and everything at the same time, so it might be a little hard.
Yeah,
but
you're
I'll
good.
show like different stages. You know, I have, like I said, I mean, there's literally
Fixes McDonald Wi-Fi.
like,
Kyle, they're trolling you
Couple
on your
hundred
live.
snakes in the
You out, man. Come on, get Cuddy a break.
Nah.
I can't help it. Like I said, I mean,
With that metal
that's
roof,
just the way it is.
With that metal roof, I know.
And
right?
really, and it's better to
You're
not
good.
have Wi-Fi in here, because then I can't get no work done when I'm in here. When I'm in here working, I can't get no work done, because if there is Wi-Fi, I be in people's live. I'll be checking my phone. You know, so it just, you know, it's best not to have it very good in here.
Yeah, you're too distracted.
So
I get it.
So this ultrasound here, this machine was a used one I got from a guy that got out of the business. Now this ultrasound is probably 8-9 years old, but when these units were brand new, like 15 years ago, these were like 15,000. Guys hear me?
Yeah, you broke up
Yes,
there.
you're good.
Can you guys hear me or no?
But yeah, we got you. You seem
Okay.
smooth now.
So
You're
like
good.
this ultrasound, and I don't know why I don't know why it does that banding thing. What I want to try to do is I want to try to get over to these tubs to try to ultrasound these females. If I can't, I'm just going to kind of maybe set the phone like this, if I can do that, and then I can actually grab the ultrasound and I can talk and I can show on camera how the ultrasound is showing the snakes. So grab some gel stick and I'm gonna go to the animal and I'll show you guys. So
Guys, we're hitting 20,000 likes. Let's get it to 30. Come on, let's get it to 30.
So this female here is like, I mean, she's gonna have very, very large follicles. What you do is you look for the gallbladder on the animal, which is a black spot. I don't know if anybody can see anything. Can you guys
Yes,
see
we
it?
can
It's
see
pretty
good.
good.
Okay, so hold on. The gel, as you go down the body, sometimes it kind of... Okay, so let's see here. See that little black right there? Because right after it, there's going to be a huge follicle. You see that? See that follicle in there, that big round ball?
Okay, yes.
There, yeah.
Yeah, it is large.
Well, that female is really almost near ovulation. I'm not breeding her anymore. I mean, there's a bunch. You can see them in there. See, there's another one. And it's a little hard because so there's a split between two of them. You know, so those are the eggs inside the female. They're not fertilized yet. But when she's ready and reaches that 45 to 55 millimeters right around there, that's when they ovulate. And what happens is the tail, all the fat gets sucked out of the tail and it kind of bends and they kind of have a weird look to their body. And then they're ovulating. Once they ovulate, 15 days after that, they have a shed. And then 30 days after that shed, they'll lay their eggs. Okay, so now I'll grab another female that has a different size follicles so that you can see the different size ranges. I never measure my follicles. If you can see on this ultrasound, there's little tiny ticks. there's like little tiny slash marks. Well, those are 10 millimeter marks. So I know like roughly how big the follicles are without even having to sit there and hit a freeze button and put the two X's up and measure them. I know how big they are basically just by experience, you know. But I mean, here's another female that's only at about 20. Find them. So right there they are. So this, you can see them right there. See those round circles?
Yep.
Those are only at about 20. So they grow about 10 millimeters, 15 millimeters a month. Some of them grow faster, but you just have to keep monitoring them. Pair them. I only pair my females probably 3, 4, maybe 5 times at the most if I can't really get no follicle growth. Sometimes they reabsorb. If you actually look at this screen, you can see bigger follicles, and then you see them little black ones there's more on the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's actually another set of follicles growing in that female for the following year. Believe it or not, that's what it is. So I mean, that's kind of how I do it. And like I said, there's a really good picture of one. I mean, I hope this snake doesn't crap because it just literally like started, you know, when a belly starts making noise and everything. Well, that's what this snake just did, and I hope it doesn't just crap all over. But anyways, so that's kind of how I ultrasound, like I said, and I go, you know, and I watch females. Here's another thing with breeding them. When they're 5 to 7 millimeters, what I do is I check them, and then I'll lock them up one time, and then I'll feed the animals really heavy. Hold on, for some reason the camera's not working. So what I do is I'll check the females when they're 5 to 7 millimeters. I'll pair them one time. Thank you. So I'll pair them one time, and then I'll feed them. And what else I will do is, here's another secret that a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people won't tell anyone either. If a snake has 10 millimeter, 15 millimeter follicles, you breed her, and they don't jump up for like 2 or 3 months, and she's eating rats, switch her to mice and see what happens. Sometimes feeding them a different prey item will force the follicles to jump up in size, and they'll breed.
What?
What?
Yeah. Yes.
Dred
talks
loves
about
mice.
that
He
yet.
can't wait to get started with his mouse breeding over there. He loves mice.
I do 4 of them. I do like I mean, I just pound them with mice sometimes. If they don't go, or if they don't jump up, I give them mice. And I've seen females literally within 30 days go from 10 to like 30 millimeters in 30 days.
Fuck.
When
Fuck.
they're ready,
Not got my mice.
you know, when they're ready, they're ready. And to be honest with you, if I had to do my whole collection, I would do ASFs or mice. They're just not as... Raul, thanks for the gifts. I appreciate it. But, you know, they just, to me, ball pythons, you could feed them mice their whole lives. You just have to feed them more. And,
Right.
and people with gigantic collections, if you don't have a bunch of employees, you can't afford to be in there every day, all the time. And that's another thing. Like, I have target animals that I want to get bigger faster, so I feed smaller meals more often.
I have changed to that since we talked to you, 7 weeks ago. I have changed some of my keeping. I've sold some snakes that you made me rethink, put money into some better snakes. Like the stuff when I first kind of met you out here, 6 to 8 weeks ago, we started hanging out. Just really, that's kind of, it blew our mind. Me and Dred have talked about it ad nauseum, and it's made me change my thinking. Smaller meals, more frequent, a little bit cooler temperatures, get rid of junk animals. Spend money to get better ones that are less numerous.
You know, like in this room is all temperature controlled. They're all on mini splits because this whole building up here was like an attic. So it's 77.
No, the Wi-Fi.
This also, is it bad?
Yeah, we lost you. What temps is your ambient?
Yeah, the Wi-Fi goes bad. I mean, I keep it at 70, 77 is what I have it at right now. I go anywhere from 70 to like 77. I never wanted over 77. And right
Same
now
here.
the unit is actually on the unit is actually on a air conditioning, because this mini splits, they were heating and cooling. The mini splits were heating and cooling, so you heat, cool. So in the wintertime, they're on heat, and in the summertime, they're on air conditioning, because the ceiling in this building in this room here is 16 inches thick of insulation, and then I got that room is at.
Someone
You
started
know,
GoFundMe for
I mean-
Kyle's Wi-Fi. Somebody, the comments.
I mean, hey, listen. I did have an arrow system. I don't know if you know what that arrow system is. It's a Wi-Fi extender. You can hook up to 200 devices up to your Wi-Fi. What happened was, as soon as I plugged in my printer to print out new shipping labels, I couldn't get my Wi-Fi to work anymore. I couldn't get the Wi-Fi to work with that arrow system and the printer. So I just unplugged all the Wi-Fi extender things that are all over in this building. I mean, there used to be like 200. You could, like I said, you could hook up 200 devices onto this, but now I haven't even plugged it back in.
Wow.
So I mean, if anybody wants to see any like cool animals, I have a bunch.
Yes, that is definitely
I-
on our wish list.
What's the square footage of that room you're in right there, give or take?
I don't really know, but it's a 25 by I think 25 by 26. This is only the adult room. There's a baby room in the other right next to
Pretty
me.
good. Okay.
You know, this will fit 350 adult females and 100 males, but this one whole wall is empty, and I don't think I'm going to ever get that big because you don't need it.
Right.
If you got the right animals and you got the right plan, in all reality, you probably don't even need 150 like I have. You just don't need it. I mean, a person could literally have 50 females and say 15 males, and you could make a decent living off of it if you had the investment capital to invest into those proper animals.
Wow. Boom.
I mean,
there you go.
If you think about it, if you bought like I got like these right. Well, I hold on a second. Like, I mean, I don't want to be like a sale, but these are all axanthic clowns. There's 5 of them right here. Now, if you literally bred that to now these are all axanthic clowns. So if you breed these to a axanthic clown combo male, there's 5 of them, and you get 3 of them to go at 7 eggs. That's 21 axanthic clown. Like I said, 20 babies at minimum of $1,000 a piece on average, because it's a combo male to a female.
Oh, the internet.
At $1,000. That's $20,000.
Go on the roof.
It could have been. Hold on a second. I'll come over here. It could have been me, because I was doing some crap with the camera and like trying to get things to work. Raul, shut the hell up. Give me a uni, Jesus. Come on, let's go, Jesus.
Tell PetSmart to give him some more bucks for his fancy bells.
We
I just
heard
gotta
you were a
fix that.
bell
Y'all,
master.
come on. I'm laughing too hard. I'm about to pee.
Yeah, I plugged in a printer again, you know? But no, anyways, so like, if you got the right animals, you really do not need to have tons and tons of snakes. The problem also is odds. When you're playing with the genetics, when you're playing like a 1 in 512 or 1 in 16 or 1 in 32, like I bred an ultramel clown, het pied male to triple hets. It's a 1 in 16 chances for the triple visual. And I have 3 females that are going to be ovulating here within the next couple months. Probably within the next month. But anyways, so with those females, here's the crazy part that most people don't understand, and they're going to hear it from me right now. When you're doing your breedings, run a genetic calculator, because if you run it on Morph Market on the if you run it on the forums on Morph Market, or if you type in on Google genetic calculator, it'll come up and it'll show you the Morph Market one. Well, here's the crazy thing. Most people don't understand how it works, because when you put codominant genes in with triple recessives, your odds are even more spread out to get these combos. Now I want to hit the ultramel clown pieds really bad. I do have a male that's an OD leopard clown pied het ultramel. And breeding him to triple hets, it's a 1 in 64 for all the genes, but it's also a 1 in 64 just for the triple with no codominant genes in it. So that's why I took the ultramel clown het pied and I bred it to the triple hets, because your chances of getting the triple recessive are better, and you can always put the codominant genes in later. You know, I don't, you know, that
very
just,
interesting.
I've learned that, and I've jumped the gun. I've literally jumped the gun on projects trying to produce all this crazy stuff. But what's going to happen is it's just not, you know, your odds are just going to screw you. And when you're talking about, when you have serious money invested, that's another thing. You know, we all want to, I'm not going to bullshit anybody. Like, when you spend $8,000 on an animal, yes, you like the color. It is a pet in a way, but it is also an investment, and you want to make your money. You want to make cool snakes to show people. It's an investment at that point. A $300 snake is a pet snake, you know? I mean, let's be real. People don't buy $10,000 animals. Most people, unless they're multimillionaires that don't care about money whatsoever, they could give them away after they buy them. You know, we don't buy these expensive snakes, and they're just not pets. They're an investment, and we're trying to make cool things. You know, brand new mutation combinations that nobody's ever seen. Like people say, living art. Basically, it's like a living art. You know, but anyways, so yeah, as far as the genetics, like, here's another crazy thing with the genetic testing. Now that they have genetic testing, I'm actually going to take that Orange Dream Leopard Clown Pied Het Ultramel male, and I'm going to breed it to Clown Pied females, because 1 out of every 2 at that point will be a Het Ultramel. So you can make more, you could capitalize more on the investment standpoint of breeding that animal to a Clown Pied Het Ultramel to Clown Pieds, and then shed testing them. Say you get 7 or 8 eggs. Well, say you get 3 of them in there that are, 2 of them are regular ones and 1 of them is a combo. Well, you're still going to end up hitting like a $10,000 clutch. You know, I mean, think about it this way. $10,000 clutch, 20 clutches. That's $200K, not counting your holdbacks. Say you kept a quarter of them. You're looking at $150K off of 20 clutches, and say you got 40 females to do them 20 clutches, and they're the right animals. You don't need to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of snakes to have fun, to make new combinations, and to make money at the same time.
Let me take that concept and see what you think about this. So I would say, especially me, and a lot of us aren't able to work in that budget. So, can you still take the mentality of having good snakes? So instead of let's just take it from a $5,000 snake, and let's say you're hoping your babies are worth 500 a piece.
Oh man.
Would you say you could sell some clutches, and then you say you make 2,500, $3,000 or whatever on a couple clutches, and you continue to reinvest and stair step up? Do you think that's a good approach, or as
Yes.
long as you're focused?
Yes, stay very focused, but also less animals, more power, more, not saying go out here and buy two snakes worth, if you got 30,000, go buy two $15,000 snakes. Now you're putting your eggs in one basket, and if something happens, you're screwing yourself. But I'm saying, like, buy, if you got a $15,000 cap, you want to invest 15,000, go out and buy 3 or 4 females and 2 males, and work with that budget and work with those animals, and then work your way up. If you're just starting out here to buy, okay, so this month I bought a $700 snake, this 2 months later I bought another $1,000 snake. That's how I did it. I grew it like that. And then over the years I bred everything, and I was able to get where I'm at over time. And when a lot of people were working on co-dominant mutations, when they come in the country out of Africa or out of Europe, they're like, $25,000, $50,000, but they lose 80% of their value in 1 year.
Yes.
Just that straight co-dominant mutation will lose 80% of its value. So what you have to do with those co-dominant mutations is you have to breed that you can breed and make some co-dominants and sell them to other people to get your money back. But
Yeah.
you also better be breeding them into some type of recessive mutation to hold back, to make better combos for the future.
Absolutely. So taking that, what you just said, I am completely on board. What would you say now? Take that mentality you had 15 years ago. What would apply to that now? What kind of codoms, morphs, what would you say is a good goal now if you were to use a stair-step approach to get from, ground level to the next one up? What do you think is a good what's a good focus for someone that wants to use that same approach?
Well, personally, what I would do is I would try to buy babies. I wouldn't try to be in a hurry. If you're going to go buy some low-end animals and try to breed them just to get that feel under your belt, to buy a couple of adults and a couple, females, males, put them together and make, if you make $100 babies and you get nine babies and you sell them on Craigslist or whatever, if you do that just to get your feet wet, so you know what you're doing, don't go out and spend tons of money and not kind of have an idea of what you're doing. I mean, what I would encourage anybody to do is buy some more simple animals and get it figured out before you go start spending a bunch of money.
That's exactly what I'm doing. From green tree pythons to the ball pythons, the rainbow boas, I kind of went a little above the base level. I felt more comfortable with them, but that mentality is exactly the prescription I'm taking right now, brother.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then and what I would encourage anybody to do, like I said, breeding those co-dominant with the recessives, make your holdbacks. Also, what you can do is, like my one friend said, there's some animals you will sit and try to produce for 3 or 4 years. It may be cheaper, and we're playing against time, and we're also playing against the values of the animals. So sometimes buying certain animals is a better fit than to be trying to make them in certain instances. When you're at a lower level to try to make some more simple things, maybe it's easier to go out and buy them, because here's the thing. If it's $1,000 animal, say you buy a female that's $500 and you buy a male that's $200. Well, you got $700 invested in there. Well, now you got the rats to feed them. You've got the bedding. You've got the time and the care involved to try to make that combo that you really want to spring from. Maybe it's best you go buy that combo for $1,000 than to try to produce that combo yourself.
Yeah.
And that's I mean, it all depends on someone's budget and how they can do it for themselves. I would encourage people to always buy females before you ever buy any males. Don't be in a hurry to buy these males. I mean, at least if you buy females that are babies, buy them, and then maybe a year later buy the males. Don't go out and, it doesn't hurt to buy the males. And if it's, the problem is if it's something more common and you can get that male from pretty much anywhere, okay, then don't go and buy it. But if it's something super rare that you really want and you really want to make it, then go and buy that male so that you can get there a little bit faster.
Yeah.
But I always encourage everybody to buy females before they ever think about buying males, because those females are the ones that are going to give you your eggs. Them are the most important. And I feed my snakes ASFs, mice, or rats. Whatever they want to eat is what I give them, because the objective is to be getting eggs out of these snakes. And I've had snakes go 5-6 years before they've laid eggs, because they're picky eaters. They only want to eat what they want. And if you try to be stubborn with them, they don't care about you one bit. They don't give a crap about you. That's one thing that a lot of people that are doing this don't understand, is the animals are going to do what they want to do. They don't care about you.
So
I mean, it's a hard thing to swallow, but it's true. They don't care about you. As long as you're giving them food and water and they're comfortable, you do your job and they're going to do theirs.
Wow.
So feeding them will get you what you want.
you touched earlier about, obviously the very diet you just brought up, but you talked about smaller meals more frequently, and I'm on board with that. I'm practicing that.
Mostly in snakes that you're growing too. That's kind of what I do. Like when the females are big and they're already breeders, you can feed them a medium rat once a week and they can do just fine. But it's mostly when you're growing the snakes is when them smaller meals, what happens is like my baby room over there is 82 degrees and the hot spots are like 89. And the reason that is because you got the snakes in a smaller tub, it's warmer, and you can feed them smaller meals more often and they're because they're cold-blooded, so they digest on a warmer temperature and smaller meals, so it's just like a cycle, and you just keep feeding them and feeding them and feeding them. I mean, like I said, I've had males at 90 days old breeding at 665 grams or something like that.
Yeah, so you just kind of alluded to what I was going to ask next. How quickly are you able to get your best eaters up to size and ready to go?
I don't really try to, with high-end snakes right now, I'm not focused on trying to just get the snakes up to size as fast as I can. I mean, there's people that are chasing the money. That's all they're chasing, so they don't care. And like what I'd rather do is I'd rather grow a male for a whole year, get him up to a good 1,200, 1,400 grams, and turn them loose on 8 females. If you breed an 800-gram male like I did this year with one, when you breed those younger males at like 800 grams, the problem is if they go off food, you better not be breeding them anymore, and you better be careful, because you better not take them too far, because they may not go back on food and you might lose them. And for me, it's better to wait and get them a year old or like 10, 11 months old. Like I bred a male this year. He was 850 grams, but I only bred him to 4 females. I mean, you can take a male with an ultrasound realistically, and you could breed a heavy hitter male, 1,000, 1,200 gram male to 15 females.
Wow.
I mean, I can
with an ultrasound, because you know how to you can time it.
Yes.
And then give him the break he needs to recover.
Here's another term we're gonna talk about. I mean, it's also known in the adult entertainment industry.
Yes.
A fluffer, like
Fluffers.
A fluffer. So some males, what you can do is
I'm not familiar, Kyle. Can you tell me about what that means in the adult entertainment industry? I've never heard of this.
So anyways, so a fluffer male, so basically what you would do is you get a female that doesn't have follicles. Maybe she's not eating. Maybe she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing. Breed her one time, and she may just take off eating like crazy, and then her follicles will start to grow. Well, then you put that other male back in there. Before her follicles are really even there, you use that fluffer to get her back on food and get her going.
Well, how do you time that so she doesn't end up with the babies from a less desirable male?
A lot of times you won't when they don't have follicles and when they're like maybe basically non-existent. You got to use an ultrasound. That's one thing you got to use.
How you know that? Yeah, that's how you know.
Yeah, if a female's literally like, I had a 600-gram female eat for the first time in like 6 months. She went off food. I don't know why. She just would not eat. I put a dang male that was like 1,200 grams in there, and he locked up with her one time, and I got her eating again. She's definitely not going to produce, but as long as I can keep her eating and get some size on her, maybe she will produce in 6 or 8 months. You know, she might produce a clutch at 1,050 grams.
Right.
You know?
So you're using the act of breeding just to incite them back on food?
Yes.
I did not know this.
Yes, that is another thing. Sometimes females don't want to eat. So if you put a male in there, even if he doesn't lock them, they'll just being in there sometimes can get them going. Also, what I do sometimes is I change the bedding. I move the females in a different rack. I try all kinds of different things like that to try to get the snakes eating.
So change their environment, change their food type.
Are we bad on the Wi-Fi?
Just briefly there. Oh, it locked up a little bit again.
Well, what about that other thing, right? We're talking. Give him a second.
Taking them for a drive was someone's idea, yeah.
Yep,
Marines 911 had a great question.
You can ship them to a friend and then they ship them back to you. Can you guys hear
you're
me
back
now?
now. Yeah.
Okay, so you can ship them to a friend. You can and then they ship them back to you. You can take them on car rides. Here's another unorthodox thing. Most people are not doing this, but I'm gonna do it anyways because I know it's not affecting the snakes, and I know a guy that used the bedding for 15 years. But I don't use Cypress anymore. I don't use Cocoa anymore. I actually use America's Choice Eco Flake all natural animal bedding. It is kiln dried pine. Kiln dried pine. Now they say that pine has toxins in it. But I know a guy that's used this bedding for 15 years, never had any respiratory infections, never had any problems. The bedding can also get wet, and it doesn't mold. Now, a snake's, and here's another thing, when a snake shits in the bedding, it literally dries it up within a couple days because that bedding is so absorbent. And then if they're in shed, you just drop the water cup on top of the bedding and get it wet. And I can show the bedding because I got 6 bales of it right here next to me, and I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it just so the people can see it. So this bedding is right here. This is what I use.
So
this is what I use right here.
Does that take the oils, the oils out of it then?
This kiln-dried pine takes all the oils out of it, and even if it gets wet again, there is no more oils. It's cooked right out of it.
Dude, everybody's using that same bedding for their rats, and you're feeding your rats to your snakes, and they got all that. So what? Right? 110%.
So this pine is a little more expensive. I use a cheaper brand for the rats because it's 50 to 75 cents, sometimes $1.25 cheaper. But this is what I use for the snakes exclusively, and I'm not going to use anything else ever. This stuff right here is like, I mean, I'll show in a tub. I'll see if I can pull a snake.
Where do you get it from?
I get it from a feed store that's near here, but you can get it at like a Menards. I mean, you can get it off of the internet. You can look for it. I mean, this is what it looks like. And the crazy thing is like, you know, I haven't cleaned the snakes this week, so you can see a little bit of shit back there, but you don't see any wetness because this.
We even got that brand out here on the West Coast. I know.
Yep. So this stuff, literally, well, you know Jason Amos?
No.
I've heard him.
Jason Amos is originally from California. This is all he uses. This is all he's ever used for 15 years.
Yeah, I've seen it at the feed stores out here.
So yeah, so I mean, that's what I use, and I'm not ever going back to anything else because the problem with cypress is I do have a few snakes on it just because they won't eat on anything else. You know.
Well, the next would be then humidity, right? Are you running a humidifier in your room?
I don't even have a humidifier in here. You can see the humidity building up inside here, but it doesn't mold this bedding. It just stays a little bit more humid. It doesn't mold. Now, if you have super humid, like the cocoa husk and
Cocoa husk would get some mold,
especially on the shit.
Yeah, I've seen it mold on a turd before. In general, I've had good luck.
Cocoa husk would get some mold in it.
Yes. So, anyways,
Technical difficulties. It's okay.
I mean, I've had really bad luck. Yep.
We're still losing.
I should be back here pretty quick. Oh, here's a signal. I'm back now. I should be back, right?
Yeah, you are. Yes.
Okay, now I'm back. So what I hate the reason I hate cocoa is like we all don't have we can't spread the stuff out on the floor in the snake room and sweep it back up and put it in barrels. Like what my friend told me to do is get like one of those dryer bags or those clothing bags that you put dirty clothes in. That's like a cloth bag with holes all over. Put the cocoa in there, dip it under the so dip it in a water container for 15 minutes, then pull it out and hang it somewhere and let all the water drain out of it and then put it into a barrel and but that takes days. Just like cocoa itself to even I'm going to put it in a container for a minute, and then I'm going to flip it over and for another minute, then I'm going to pull it out, then I'm going to throw it into a barrel. Well, it still has water way at the bottom of the barrel. You know, I just hate this shit. I hate that it takes so much time to prepare. Cypress, you can buy pure cypress. It works. However, unless you leave it in a garage or somewhere, because some of these hardware places or like Menards or Home Depot or Lowe's, you can get pure cypress, but half the shit sits outside, so it gets rained on constantly, and then it's super wet when you get it. So, and then you throw it in a tub, especially if you're using closed air racks like these plastic racks. These plastic racks do not allow a ton of airflow in them like the Freedom Breeders. Or racks that are open sides, and when you have when you literally have racks that are literally next to each other like this, you don't have any space in between, so there's not a ton of airflow. I got holes drilled in all the tubs on these racks, you know, and I even drilled them when they had cocoa and cypress, and the humidity would still build up. You know, and I would get mold, and another thing, what it would do is cause the snakes' faces to swell up. Sometimes with the super high humidity would cause the snakes to their mouths would swell up. I usually take a drill bit and I drill the holes in the tubs, or I take I don't even know what it's called. It's a
soldering iron.
Yeah, you can do that, and you just melt holes in the tubs.
That's what I do. I love a soldering iron.
Or like a wood burner. You can use like a wood burner, you know.
Or a wood burner and poke a hole right at. Yeah.
Yep, same type of thing as a soldering iron.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I do. You know, as far as like breeding, you know, I've heard of people breeding females at 18 months and they're literally feeding them so much food that they're getting them up to size. I usually wait on my females, you know, 2. They got to be 2 when they lay. They might be 3, or if when they lay, they might be 4. You know, I don't really rush animals so much.
Yeah, let them get there when they can get there to be. You know, you're getting them up to weight, healthy, and in maturity as well.
Like, you know, like most of my females from last season, the majority of my holdback females are like 500 to 800 grams or 900 grams at the most, you know, and they're literally like a year. The females that I have that are 900 grams are literally like a year old right now.
Now on this note, okay, so say back to this male. You got a male. He may not be right. You know he's going to work, but he's not working. What can you do to get him to work? Right? Put another male in the tank. What's some tricks to possibly get this one male to start breeding?
Oh yeah, back to the fluffers and cross-dressing snakes.
One thing I do, sometimes you can put him in with another male for like a couple hours or like an hour. What else you can do is, here's a list of things. Female, put that male in there, and he'll like battle that and beat the shit out of that skin. He'll beat on that skin, and then he'll think he's like man of power. So then he gets going. You know, bad connection.
Yeah, you said throw like another male's shed in there.
Head in. Yep. You can also pop male sperm plugs and spread them on the females. Rub them on the females. Rub them on the inside of the tub. Another thing you can do, I mean,
how do you
as far
do that?
as a fluffer male, you pop a male, you get the sperm plugs out, and then you put them, you take them, and you wipe them with your hands on the inside of the tub of the female, and then you put the male you want to breed in there.
I'll be using a glove. I'll use a glove for that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's times where I don't. Whatever. I mean, I used to farm, so I was in cow shit. I mean, so I mean, it ain't nothing to me. Whatever, you know.
I've had my arm up.
As long as I wash my hands and take a shower and everything before I eat, I'm good. You know, I mean, look at the doctors. I mean, they're putting gloves up on and putting their fingers up people's buttholes and everything else. I mean, it is what it is. You know, I mean,
yeah, it is what it is.
I mean, so exactly. So, anyways,
finger heart. We got finger hearts coming in.
Yeah.
So most people don't want.
Thank you, socially, Sydney.
Like,
we're gonna all chip it. I hope he uses his
most
galaxies.
People don't want. So, anyways, I don't know if you guys can hear me again.
Yeah, now we can. Now we lose you for 60 seconds every so often.
Yeah. What I think it is, I mean, like I've told people, I can be on a cell phone talking to someone and I can hear another phone call on my cell phone, other people talking. I don't know where it is. I hear it's choppy, but I can literally sometimes intercept other people's phone calls with my cell phone. And there ain't a lot of people that probably can say they've ever done that before.
Yeah, that's
wild.
But
anyways,
it's like a party line from back in the day.
Exactly. So another thing I recommend is if you can't get a male to breed, sometimes it's just the female. You may not want to breed him to this female, but try her. Even if she was already breeding another male and she has bigger follicles, at least try them. Because, I mean, the problem is you want to get that male to breed so bad, like, I mean, I'm willing to try whatever. So, like, I'll put him in with a female even with no follicles that I'm breeding to another male just to see if he locks up with her. Because here's another thing. Once they do find a female that they do like, they will breed other females that they didn't want to breed before.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And another
Okay.
thing too is I've also had males that don't want to breed females unless they have big follicles. So if just put them in there for an hour or two, and I don't know if it's
Some of us
pheromone.
humans are like that, but it's not about the follicles, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes, yes, yeah. So I mean, you know, it just a lot of it is there's a lot of trial and error here, and I mean, I can only tell people so much. They got to be the ones to make the decisions whether they want to do it or whether they don't want to do it. You know. You know, I mean, if you want to take a chance, you know, I mean, I had a friend that literally bred a female one time. She laid a clutch of eggs. She proved out not to be het clown. The following season, she had another clutch. She had clowns in the clutch. She laid a clutch, but she had sperm retention from the year before somehow, and she laid, and she proved out to be het clown the following year.
Holy cow! I didn't think sperm was viable that long.
Well, it is. It is. I've heard it's viable up to like 3 to 5 years.
Holy cow!
Wow.
Really?
So I mean, there's things that literally, I mean, stuff happens. I mean, I've had Partho clutches. Here's another crazy thing. So I had a female last season. I bred her to a pastel axanthic desert ghost male to an axanthic clown female. Well, I got 2 eggs from that male, and the rest of the eggs were all Partho babies. The reason I knew they were Partho babies was because I know where the male came from. I know what the lineage is on the male. I know who produced the double hets that produced that male and the visual het that produced the other part, you know, the other parent. Well, what happened was I got snow clowns from an axanthic clown bred to a pastel axanthic desert ghost. I got snow clowns. Well, what it was a Partho baby. The female was het albino. So this axanthic clown adult breeder female I got from France. I called the guy and I said, "Hey, David, did you ever like have het albino in any of your axanthic clowns?"
Yeah.
So he traced it back 6 years, and he used a axanthic clown male bred to a regular, normal het albino to create his double het axanthic clowns. Well, here they were triple hets. When he bred them, he never got any visuals. So he didn't get any albinos, but he got axanthics. And I think what happened is maybe he used 2 different animals from different clutches. So one of those snakes was het albino and one of them wasn't. So then he bred them, not knowing which one was het albino, produced axanthic clowns, sold me one of them, and I bred her last season and I got like 10 eggs out of her, and I had 2 snow clowns in the clutch.
Huh.
Crazy.
So it's an axanthic clown that's literally 100% het albino. And I didn't know it. And I'm not even going to use her for the het albino at all. I don't want
Really?
I have no albinos in my collection, just lavender. So what I'm gonna probably do is I'm gonna end up shed testing all my axanthic clowns, and I'm gonna try to produce some more axanthic clowns that are no het albino at all, and I'll eventually sell that female and phase her out. Or I'll breed her to a double visual axanthic clown combo male, and then what I'll do is I'll test them babies for het albino, and I'll keep the ones that are not het albino, and then I'll sell the ones that are het albino, keep breeding the mom, do that for 2 or 3 seasons, get my holdbacks, and then phase her out. Not a lot of people want to do that work, but I'm going to tell you something else. That's another thing I want to tell everybody that's in here. This involves a lot of time and a lot of work. So if you want to get into this, you better be prepared, and you better be prepared to see some losses and not be so successful, because there's a lot of shit that can happen.
That is very true.
Yes.
Aside from bad odds, what else would you say to be cautious of? We're on a 60-second pause.
Good info, though. I mean, very good stuff.
Are you back? Oh, he's almost
We're bad
back.
on the Wi-Fi. Kid.
Whoa. He just double talked. You see that?
You see that?
You slowed down, then you sped up into like triple time there for a second, Kyle. It was impressive.
Now I'm back.
There you are.
Now I'm back. I can tell there's a couple little like red lines to tell you when you have bad Wi-Fi and stuff. Even though you get the poor connection thing that comes up, there's like these little red lines by your name that show that your Wi-Fi is going haywire. But I mean, like I said, a lot of trial and error. A lot of I would encourage people, like I was saying earlier, don't go just and buy all these animals and not have any kind of plan. Socially sit and plan carefully. And that's 100% true, because if you don't, I bought animals, raised them all the way up, and then sold them and never even bred them because I just was like, man, I don't even want to do it now. And I want to try to make things not tons and tons of other people are doing, or be at the forefront of that, trying to make cool things for even if it's, I'm one of the first 5 in the world to do it. I want to do things more that are uncommon, not stuff that's so common. Yes, everybody loves pieds. Everybody loves albinos, as pets. But these are, like I said, in a way, these are investments. I didn't spend all this $500,000 to buy pets. They are pets, but at the same time, they're not.
Gotcha. There was a question in the comments here. I don't know if you can see them all right. Knockout Reptiles had a question about some difficult baby feeders. Okay.
Now, what are you offering for food? Make in the comments and talk about food. Are you offering it a mouse hopper? Are you offering it a rat fuzzy? Are you going to say, oh, my snake's eating rats. I don't give a shit. I'm starving it to death until it eats rats, or I'm going to force feed it rats.
Okay. There you go.
Okay, great. What you can do is, it depends on the size of tub. Now, give it a hide box. Sometimes I do something as stupid as this. I had a snake last year that wouldn't eat. I assist fed it 2 meals, still wouldn't eat. I threw a paper towel roll in the tub and the damn thing started pounding.
What does that do? What does that even?
I don't know, man. They can hide inside of it a little bit. They just feel more secure because it's closing the tub up, so they don't have enough room. Put a toilet paper roll in there, even with the hide, in a small water bowl. Try that and see what happens. Take a piece of paper towel and fold it up and put it in there instead of a hide box. Rip up some newspaper and shove it in there. There's so many different little things that, like, sometimes these snakes they like I said, they don't care about you. They do what they want to do. That's one thing we're dealing with, is living animals with a brain of their own. So you ain't gonna coerce them and hypnotize them or anything like that and try to tell them, oh, you're gonna eat this. I had a girl that was on here a while back. She was basically saying, I'm not gonna feed my snakes mice because they're gonna get addicted to mice and all that stuff like that. Man, you better be prepared if you're gonna be breeding these animals, especially if you got quantities of them. You better be prepared to be feeding mice and rats. Mice and rats, some places aren't allowing ASFs, so that's one thing. But like mice and ASFs, 100%, you better be ready to feed both of them. I got columns of females I'm going to show you right now.
Yeah, I've got one that's a mouser. I've had him eat some rat crawlers, but he prefers small adult mice.
Once in a while, these snakes will eat rats, but they mostly eat ASFs. Yeah. These snakes over here, ASFs and mice and ASFs. I got all that stuff wrote on all these tubs. Mice and connection was going bad there. Now I'm back. But you better be prepared to feed mice and ASFs. In all real honesty, to be honest with you, I've switched a lot of my males. Like if they eat rats, they eat rats, but I'll feed them jumbo mice because in all reality, 1,000-gram male can, once he's up to size, he can eat a jumbo or like a 30-gram mouse once a week and be just fine.
Okay.
You know, younger males is another thing. Like sometimes you got to have them super, super fat. You got to have younger males super, super fat, and they seem to do better. And as long as they keep eating, you can keep breeding them. But those smaller males, I mean, I've heard of people getting clutches out of. There's a guy in the chat right now that Shane. I know he bred a spider male at like 400 grams or something and got clutches out of it.
Wow.
I mean, I've known him for like 15, 18 years. So, yeah, he had some girl drive some ASFs back here for me from Arizona because I couldn't find any, you know. But I've got multiple sources over the years. I've killed all my ASFs and started them back up. I've killed all my mice and started them back up. I killed almost all my rats and started them back up with different bloodlines. What I would also do, that's another thing we're going to talk about, is we can talk about the rodents a little bit.
Yeah, let's do that for what. Let me set a goal real quick. So people are wanting to see some of your animals. I know one in particular that I want to see, and we are getting close. Let's see if we can get. Before we're gonna break out. He's gonna show us some of his favorite animals here. I hope. Let's see if we can get 50 shares, and we're almost to 40K likes. If we get 40K likes, let's try to hit 50 shares. We got almost 25, 30 people in here. We can do 50 shares, and if we hit 40K, let's see Kyle's favorite animals if he's got the time for us here.
One of them.
And run with the floor. You had an idea to talk about rodents here, man. We are all ears.
Yeah, roll with it, man.
So, I would encourage people to start out with a certain number of rodents and never introduce any other rodents in your building ever again. Once you get a certain amount of rodents, don't be bringing in new bloodlines of rodents.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Never bring in new bloodlines of rodents, and I'm going to tell you why. I had an issue where I ran my rats down 18 months ago. That's why I literally have 3 clutches in the incubator. Last year at this time, I had 80 clutches in my incubator, and some hatched. So I'm only going to end up with like 30 clutches this year because of an 18-month rat fiasco. So what I did was I ran down most of my rats, and I didn't have, and I'm selling rats too. So I'm selling rats, and I'm breeding my own for my own collection, and I'm also, you know, breeding and selling the snakes. Now here's the thing. What I did was I ran my rats down, the females. I never raised up enough to replace them. So I went to another source. I bought rats from them. Hundreds and hundreds of them. Well, 80% of them were killing their babies, or they would breed and they would not have any babies, or they just wouldn't breed at all. So I was having all kinds of trouble. So I had 7 racks in my building that were my old rats that were still having babies. So what I did was, out of 300 and some colonies of 1.4,
wow,
I only kept babies out of the really good producing ones, out of them new rats, the ones that didn't kill their babies, and the ones that did breed. Sometimes the males are infertile, so if you pull the male out, put another male in, then 3 weeks you can get babies. You can see pregnant females. The problem with that is if it's another male, well, that's another whole three weeks or whatever that you waited, wasting time. Kill them all, put another whole brand new baby, raise up brand new ones and put them in there, and they're going to be fine. So it's if you got time, you want to mess around, keep wasting time, you know, I don't have time to mess around. You know, this is a big operation here, and I didn't got time to mess around.
Right.
Well, I did it once, and I'll never do it again. Like I said, I messed it up. I'm retiring my females earlier than I need to now, breeding them, because I wanna keep that constant flow of production coming. I don't want the rats to burn out. If I notice, because I pull all the orders every week and I pull all the weaned rats every week, and stuff like that. So I know if a male dies, oh, I'll put a new male in there. I know if a female dies, I'll put a new female in there. I notice from week to week which ones don't have babies. Well, if all the other tubs around there are having babies and that one isn't, pull the male out. If they're brand new, fresh females, pull that male out. He's probably infertile. Throw another male in there. 3 weeks later, if you don't start seeing bellies swell up on those females, shit can the whole colony and start a brand new one. You know, and like I said, I'm raising up a lot of rats to replace them every 4 to 6 months now, instead of replacing them every 8 months to a year.
Wow.
See, I've heard that right there, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Instead of that, I'm working mine right now, like what you're saying, to get caught up, so I can do like that 1.4, you know, and then you got to grow out your males. I thought about going to get a couple new males to bring in, but
never do that, because here's the thing. My buddy had a rodent operation he ran for 30 years. He was producing 30,000 rodents a month between mice and rats. 30,000 head a month. And he brought in new rodents about 25 years ago. They had bloodborne pathogens or some kind of pathogens, and they killed the whole colony. 15,000 rodents dead.
see that right? That's why I'm hesitant. Even though I know where they're coming from, it still doesn't mean something's not going to happen.
Wow.
Yes, if you've gotten rats from that source before, you're probably okay.
Yeah.
You're probably 100% okay. But, you know, just the thing is, like, now that I'm caught back up and I got all my groups producing, I just killed off one whole wall, and I started, like, it was like 15 racks times 7. So that's like 100 tubs. I just replaced 100 tubs within the last 3 weeks, all brand new breeders. And all of them are like medium rats. And then I'm raising them up. You know, they'll start breeding when they're ready. Some people try to get their rats all the way up to larges. I like to raise them, even if I got the room, I would raise smalls together in a 1.4 colony. I know people that also breed like a 2 male and 20-some females and pull the females and put in their own birthing tub, or they take
maternity. Yeah.
Or they breed like that 2.20 and they put 3 pregnant females that they look at the bellies and they look and see when they're kind of going to have babies. So they put like-minded pregnant females with the same size bellies in them tubs together, and then they have their babies without a male. Now think about it this way. My buddy told me, Kyle, if you did that, even if you bred them like 2.28 or whatever in the tubs and you pulled the females, you'd have 300 less males in your building. So you'd have literally so many less males. You'd probably save 3 bags of feed, maybe 5 bags of feed per month. Well, most people are paying $20 to $25 a bag. That's $125 a month you'd be saving to breed them that way, but it's also more labor intensive. And when you have employees, like I have employees that clean all my rats because I'm allergic, I can go in there and pull the orders, but doing the cleaning gets all in my face, and I got to wear a full face respirator. I got an inhaler. I get hives on my arms, so I got to wear long sleeves, rubber gloves, all the whole get up. You know, I can't be risking it because otherwise I get sick.
I have seen that with other people that are making 3,500 mice a week, and they do a respirator when they're on their Thursdays when they clean.
Yep. So, I mean, that's just something that you got to live with if you're going to deal with the snakes. And even when I clean snakes, I wear a respirator because literally the snake shit has got the rat hairs in it. And if you rustle it up, that dust, if you start breathing that in, that ain't good to be breathing that in anyways. Poop dust. So like you're breathing it in, you know. Well, it's toxic to me because I'm allergic to rodents and the hair is in the shit.
Yeah.
So it's like dander from the rodents that's in the snake's crap.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm affected by it.
That's interesting.
You know,
and
so
when I see bigger operations like yours, man, and other contemporaries of yours, their snake rooms look like surgery suites. I mean, tile floors, bright lighting, stainless steel. It's like a clean surgical suite. Whether it's you, Bob, Justin, like I'm seeing these facilities are just
Some people are a little
Cleanliness
bit
above
crazy.
everything.
Some people are a little bit crazy with that because I'm going to tell you something else about that. Is if your snake is literally kept in look at children. If you shelter your children and they never get out and they don't get exposed to sicknesses, they could get old one day and they could die at a young age if they get some kind of sickness because their immunity is so low. So I don't clean my snakes maybe once a month I do a full clean. Otherwise I just spot clean them. And when I'm breeding them, I especially don't do full cleans and this frickin' F10 spray, bleach and water, wiping up, cleaning all the tub, keeping it so they got pheromones in this, and the males they drag their hemipenes around in the tubs, and the females will literally drag their scent glands and wiggle their tails, and you'll see blood if you have cage liners, you can see blood in the tubs and stuff like that. Don't be alarmed. It's just the females dragging their scent glands and it gets a little bit bloody. Same thing with the males. I mean, they're going to be fine. One thing that's bad about using a bedding is they can also suck bedding up inside their hemipenes. So that's why I pop males that I'm breeding. I'll pop them just if they get something stuck up in there, it doesn't get swelled up in there and cause them to have issues. I've had it happen. I've had it happen in the past. That's how I know about it.
Wow.
It'll screw the snake up for good. You won't breed it no more. It'll get infected hemipenes, and the scent glands will get infected, and you won't be able to breed them no more.
Wow, that is wild. I had no idea. I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, and that's why some people keep it like a laboratory, or they do. The reason I don't have cage liners is because, man, I can't be in here catching, especially some people, when you keep 500, 800 gram snakes in a baby tub, you better be there to catch the shit right away, because otherwise they can get sick because they're laying in their own piss and shit.
Yeah, right.
And that's why I like bedding. This pine bedding is even better because there's not a lot of dust, and it's kind of like a flake. It's not like little shreds. So it would be hard for a snake to also get one of those pieces stuck up in its hemipene.
Huh. Okay, you see less incidents of that using that bedding.
Yes, and I've only been using this bedding for a little while. I'm never going to go back to cocoa or aspen. Aspen is good, but it gets moldy super easy. If it gets wet, you might as well go in there 2 days later and clean it because it's going to get moldy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you want to show us some of your collection here, man? I know we've been keeping you a while. Show us some of your favorite projects here you got.
What do people want to see? Kind of say in the chat, some certain mutations you want to see. One of my favorite animals, she already laid eggs, is
I think it's your
true
desert ghost hypo that I love.
I mean, I'm gonna have to walk him over to the. I'm gonna have to walk him over to the better Wi-Fi zone.
That is one I love myself.
Okay, so here's a hypo. Yeah, so I bred her to a hypo pastel stranger clown. She literally laid 30 days ago, and she's almost up to weight again. But I give her sometimes 2 medium rats.
You broke up there. So describe her one more time.
It's an Axanthic Mojave hypo. And I bred it to a hypo stranger clown, pastel, so I could get pastavi stranger, hypo, double-head Axanthic clowns. That's probably one of my most anticipated clutches for the season.
All right.
Very nice.
So that's one of my favorites. I have a hypo voodoo I can pull out because it's a little guy. He's about 600 grams. So I'll pull him out quick just to show him. This is an animal from Bob Voo. It's a hypo voodoo. Bob produced this one. This is the only one he's ever sold. A normal one. This is a super cool animal. I have some snakes over here that are bangers, but the genetics are recessives. I have clowns, triple head hypo Axanthic desert ghost, Pieds triple head hypo ultramel clown, Pieds triple head Axanthic ultramel clown, There's tons of stuff. I have another couple snakes I want to show. These are probably my two all-time favorite for 2023 that I made. I'm going to show them. Hopefully they're not in shed. They're both males. One of them is breeding already. One of them is not. This is an OD Hypo-Enchi Clown Pied. OD Enchi Hypo Clown Pied.
There you go, Constrictly. There's your snake.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to have hypo in there, but I'm shooting for Super OD Enchi Clown, Super Enchi Clown. So that's a project that I'm working on.
This one I might breed to an OD Clown double head hypo pied to make Super OD Enchi Hypo Clown Pieds.
I'm liking Orange Dream more and more lately. It cleans up the pattern so well, and Super OD is always awesome. I really been digging that gene.
Here's a higher white male. This one actually bred already. He's a little skinny. He's eaten now, but he wasn't. This is an OD Hypo Clown Pied too.
Very nice.
These are my two. Quits eating while breeding. Give him a soak for an hour or two. Take some Dawn dish soap. Wash him off. Another thing. We'll wait till I'm back here.
I've been hearing about that recently in GTP podcast I'm listening to. Is a little bit of Dawn dish soap, a soak for an hour or two, maybe overnight in some warmed water. Keep it warm, and getting those pheromones off of them can really help get them back on food.
What else I do, as crazy as it sounds, is I'll take some water in a sink, let the sink dribble with like lukewarm water, and I'll literally pop a male and wash its hemipenes off underneath the sink to try to get it to go back on food. I got a couple other ones I'm going to show.
This is a lot to try to think about. This is a lot of things to remember to problem solve. This is great.
Yeah, it is. A ton of good information.
I was the first. I was like one of the first 5 people in the world to make dreamsicles, which is a lavender clown pied. And believe it or not, I have a female here. No matter what you do with these lavender pieds. Sorry, no clown. Lavender pieds. I was one of the first 5. But this is a pinstripe dreamsicle. This female is like 5 years old, and I moved facilities last year. Not last year, but the year before. So she didn't go when she was 3. So now she's 5 and she didn't go, but hopefully this year I'll get a clutch out of her. But this is actually the first pinstripe lavender pied that's ever been made in the world.
Really?
This is the first one that was ever made in the world.
Huh.
And I know that
Holy smokes.
I know that for a fact because there was only 5 other people that produced them. There was a guy overseas and there was 3 or 4 people here in the United States. Other than that, nobody had them.
I've only recently heard, recently in the last couple of days, that pinstripe is a great gene to have in pieds. Why is that?
Pattern back on the pieds, just like Enchi does. Pinstripe does the same thing.
Huh.
Actually, I don't know if you guys can hear me because of my connection.
We can now, yeah.
Yeah, so this is an Enchi pin pied double head hypoazanthic. So azanthic pin hypo Enchi pieds. I got a female that's gravid right now from this male. It was an azanthic double head hypo pied, so I could hit Enchi true ghost pieds, Enchi pin true ghost pieds, all the different stuff in there. There's only probably been 2, I think there's only 2 people that ever produced true ghost pieds. 2 or 3 people with the VPI line. These are all VPI.
Yeah.
I don't use VPI line is all I have. I don't have any other lines.
Wow.
It's my favorite too. I want to know why it's your favorite. We do have a question if you got a sec, Kyle.
Yeah, Knockout's asking, let's see the pin Ultra Clown.
I'll stay here for.
What's the one you have on
yeah,
Wolf
I have a
Market
pin
auction
Ultra-
right now?
Old back that's double the size.
So Trump's Cavalry VPI is one of the few versions of Xanthic. It was made by the Barkers, a husband and wife duo. It's probably the most common of them. It's definitely my favorite.
We'll see when I come back here. If I come back.
There you go. You're back now.
Pin Ultramel Clown. I don't want pinstripe in my males mostly. That's a male that I made. It is what it is. So I had to use it. But in my Ultramel projects, I don't want pinstripe in the males because when I bred that pinstripe Ultramel Clown male that I sold him, 90% of the babies were pinstripe. So I only wanted it in the females. Because then you're not spreading the gene all over.
Okay.
You know, then you're not spreading the gene all over. And I have another story to tell. On a regular one, probably one of my favorite animals, the one that laid. I'm going to cut the clutch. She's skinny because she just laid. But that's an Ultramel Clown female that I produced like in time, like she's probably 8 years old. I got 3 clutches out of her already. And she produced this year, she produced from the past eggs. So they'll be all clowns and straight that'll be double head hypo and old.
Are you back there, Kyle? We lost you again, bro.
Let's see here.
There you are.
I'll be back. Okay, so I'll be back. I want to grab out another animal as long as he's looking okay. I'm gonna pull him out.
Do you have the ones you have up on auction right now that you could show us?
I just showed a pin Ultramel Clown. That pin Ultramel Clown is in the other room.
Oh, okay.
It's basically the same as what I showed you already, that pin Ultramel Clown. It's the same thing as that, but it's in the other room. It's a little smaller. It's not a holdback. But here, okay, so the story on these two animals right here, these Ultramel Clowns. So I'm going to show them, and then I'm going to put them back, and then I'm going to explain the story just because they're going to take off otherwise. This is a male right here, and this is a female. Then I'll tell you the story about them. So a couple of years ago, this is quite a long time ago. I got the female. I'll hold on to her. She's pretty decent. The male's a little bit skittish. She'll just sit here. But this female, okay, so that pair of animals, I produced them 4 or 5 years ago. 4 years ago. So when I got into my Ultramel Clown project in 2017, I got Ultramels and I had Clown Pieds in 2014. In 2017, I bred my Ultramel Clown, or I bred a Ultramel male to a Clown Pied female. And I got 4 eggs. I got 4 triple het Ultramel Clown Pieds. They were all males. Okay?
Man.
So I purchased, the year before that, I purchased a trio. 1 male, 2 female, double het Ultramel Clowns. Well, I bred them. The first season, I produced 2 clutches, 14 eggs between the 2. I got 1 Ultramel Clown from double het to double het.
Huh?
I got 1 Ultramel Clown out of all the 14 eggs. So that was the female I showed you that was the first one I ever made, the one that just laid eggs here not too long ago. Now, the following year, I had 2 male clowns that are possible het Ultramel and an Ultramel that was possible het clown. I sold the Ultramel possible het clown male. I bred the the clown possible het Ultramels to the double hets. Neither one of those males proved out. Then I had a female Ultramel and a clown, female Ultramel possible het clown and a female clown possible het ultramel. The year after I bred that ultramel, she gave me 10 eggs to a spot nose clown. She didn't prove out to be het ultramel or the het clown. So I got rid of her. Then I had one clown female left. I bred her to a, what was it? I don't remember what I bred her to, but I bred her to the blackhead. I bred her to a blackhead ultramel. She was a possible het ultramel, a clown possible het. So I produced 4 ultramel blackheads, 2 ultramels, and 6 normals and blackheads out of that clutch. She laid 12 eggs her first clutch.
Dang.
Wow.
The first clutch, she laid 12 eggs. Well, the following season, I was so pissed off that I didn't hit any ultramel clown males, ultramel het clowns. I took those triple hets, that triple het ultramel clown pied. I took the triple het male and I bred it to the double hets. That year, I produced 3 ultramel clown males and 1 ultramel clown female, all possible het pied. Here's the kicker. 2 of the males cannot breed. For some reason, they have really tiny hemipenes, microscopic hemipenes. They don't produce sperm plugs. So that was 4 years ago. Well, last year, I had 1 male. The year before last, I had 1 male, ultramel clown. He was ready, possible het pied. I bred him to a pastel leopard double het. And lo and behold, I had a issue when I moved up into this facility. I never put my probe in the right spot. So when the female laid eggs, over time, what happened was the probe let loose and it overheated, so it cooked some of the eggs.
Oh no.
Well, I did prove out that male to be 100% het pied. I did get enough eggs out of him to that pastel leopard double het that he proved out to be het pied. Now last year, my female, this female that I got on me right now, I mean, she's a big girl. She's probably like 2,500 grams. I bred her to an OD leopard clown pied. And some of the babies, for some reason, they pipped and they died. I lost a leopard clown pied and an orange dream clown double het ultramel pied. They died. But I did get 4 survivors. And so this female, she proved out to be het pied. So I got an ultramel het pied adult female. There's really literally probably 2 or 3. I did have a guy get out of the business, ball pythons. He's from the East Coast. Steve Winkler Reptiles. He sold me these 3.
Oh, we're losing you again, buddy.
Females. See the ultramel clown het pied.
Yeah, he's at neutral, yes.
So maybe you can hear me. So you can hear me now. So them 3 triple hets I bred to the ultramel clown het pied over there that I bought from a friend of mine. This is the only male that I kept out of the female that was last year that I produced, and she bred and she proved out to be het pied from the OD leopard yellow belly clown pied to ultramel clown possible het pied. I produced this OD leopard clown pied het ultramel male. This is last year's baby. He's about 800 grams. And then I'm going to show 1 female that I have, too, that I kept.
That's nice. 800 grams in 1 year. That's the small meal. Small meal plan is the plan.
Yep.
That's
it
awesome.
Here's another. Here's the female. His sister. I kept her too. It's a leopard clown ultramel. She's probably 800-900 grams. So I mean, I love this pattern on this snake. I love that she's not super high white. Most leopard clown pieds are mostly high white. I do have a couple other species. I'm not going to pull them out because there's 3 venomous lizards down here. I have 3 Gila monsters.
Sweet.
I do have 3 Gila monsters.
So leopard can make more high white when you're in a pied project?
Clown pies.
Okay.
Leopard, clown pied, het ultramel. I'm gonna be gone. A minute, so I'm back. So this is a hypo ultramel pied, triple hypo ultramel pied.
That's
Hypo
awesome.
ultramel pied. It's hard because I'm over in the dark over here. But I have a breeder male. This is a female, but I also have a breeder male. This is one of my favorite animals. You know, let's see what else.
Hey, we're getting some questions about your heat source. Your choice of heat source is a belly or back. What do you tell us about your heating source and thermostats, if you don't mind, briefly?
Well, my thermostats, I have multiple kinds of thermostats. Some of the easiest thermostats I've purchased were cheap. So I have these like $20 thermostats. I have a thermostat on every single rack, on every single piece of heat tape.
Yes.
Like I have these bigger racks here, those have dual side heat on the back. They don't have belly heat and they don't have back heat. At the back of the tub, since they're so deep, on both sides, there's an 11-inch piece of heat tape.
Yep.
So the reason I like that stuff or the back heat is because in a closed air rack like this, you don't get tubs sliding over the heat tape causing static electricity or wear on the heat tape. You know, because if you keep rubbing the tub over it, sooner or later you poke a little pinhole in there and it'll be melting and then all of a sudden shit will be on fire.
Right. Yeah, I like back heat and side heat myself. I am not, or I use overhead heat panels in some other species, but I don't.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't like belly heat for sliding, just for that danger.
You can use it on Freedom Breeder racks or ARS, but in the plastic racks, you can't use belly heat because the problem is you get the plastic racks is where even if it's recessed, it still causes static electricity and it does rub a little bit, and that heat tape does like it does bevel a little bit, like swoops up a little bit sometimes on some of the spots because of the temperature of the heat causes it to buckle inside there a little bit.
Okay.
So you know, I use mostly back heat and mostly side heat. I do have a little bit of belly heat, but not too much.
Okay.
You know, a lot of these racks, the only ones I bought brand new, the only racks I bought brand new is that corner right there. Otherwise, I traded a genetic stripe, a whole clutch of genetic stripes for this 8 set of racks. I did buy a few of these racks over here brand new, and then there was a friend of mine that got out, and I bought like 8 or 10 from him. I didn't want to buy, you know, I wanted everything to kind of match.
Yeah.
I wanted everything to kind of match, so I just that's how I did it. And then even in my, even on my floor, like I'll show people what I did also. I screwed all my racks together, but even on my, I don't use any of the bottom 2 levels just because it seems like with the back heat and the side heat, you just can't get the right temperatures down in there. I do have the Gilas on the bottom because they need super hot with the whatever, but you don't really got to keep them super hot. You know, they're in the desert, but you don't got to keep them super hot. But here's another thing what I did. I also built frames underneath all the racks and I insulated with 2-inch pink styrofoam insulation.
Yeah.
I had a contractor. All these bases have insulation underneath them.
Yep.
They got insulation in them.
That's what I'm gonna do in mine. My place is old and the floor is drafty, and I'm gonna use that pink insulation board. It's great stuff.
What else a friend of mine does is if you got a space underneath your rack, like right here, he fills that up with insulation too even.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
The regular insulation. I do have another species in this room. There's only 4 of them, and I do have some in the baby room because the babies can be kept a little bit warmer. The adults, I'm going to pull one of them out right now. I got to find a hook. Well, I got some boas in here. Those aren't getting pulled out because I got bit by one a couple weeks ago. So, I mean,
That makes for good content. Come on, Kyle.
Yeah,
Be a
it does.
sport.
I do have a hook in here somewhere, but I don't know where it is. You know what's crazy is like I put pens in these black racks, and then you can't find these pens. You lose these pens, you know, and you just set them in there and then you lose them. And like I got probably 20 markers and pens and stuff in here. But I do have a couple other snakes in here. I did.
Are you back?
I'll be back in a second.
Almost.
Am I back now?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I got her in my hand right now. It's an albino bull snake.
Yeah, I've never seen them in albino. That's wild.
Oh, they're huge. Look at how big she is.
Oh yeah, bull snakes get huge, man. They get 8-10 foot.
She's almost 7 feet. Yeah, she's almost 7 feet long, and they're native to Wisconsin, so we can only keep morphs. You know, unless you're creating
Right.
unless you're creating new mutations, you're gonna get some normals, but you can't sell normals. If you produce normals, you can't sell them. You have to give them away.
Huh?
You have to give them away. Like you could sell them online and ship them out of state, and since they're from captive bred species, but you literally, if you tried selling them within the state, you have to give them away because they're normals.
Are they het? Do they carry just like other genetic plans? Do they carry the het? You could breed them and maybe get visuals, or no?
Yeah.
You can, but I'm gonna breed mostly visual stuff. Like I'm not even gonna mess with trying to make hets.
No, no. I meant for someone else that acquired one from you.
Yeah, and these snakes actually they literally feel like rattlesnakes. They literally feel like a rattlesnake. They have keel scales. They have keel scales like a rattlesnake. They also wiggle their tails like a rattlesnake, so they're not even a rattler, but they move like one.
They move
And
like
they also
one.
they wiggle their tails and they beat it against stuff so that they try to scare you to think that they're a rattler, but they're not a rattlesnake. It's a bull snake. She's probably gonna crap on the floor because I just fed them. They eat medium rats too, the big ones. I'll put her back and then I'll come back.
That's cool. You don't see a lot of people keeping bull snakes. That's cool. Especially albino. I've never seen one.
I have the babies are really mean. The babies I have are really mean, and they will bite. You know, I mean, I got a male that's a hypoazanthic. I'll go in the baby room. Maybe I can get Wi-Fi. We'll see how good it works.
Someone asked, do bull snakes eat other snakes?
No. Bull snakes eat rodents. So I do have, let's see here. I don't like messing with these babies too much, but if we can, I'm just gonna not even take them out because they hiss like crazy and they do bite. But I'll show an albino. I'll show a hypoalbino, or I mean hypo and azanthic, a ghost. That's a ghost bull snake.
What?
Like a true ghost bull snake. It's a double recessive, and if you can see, he's even rattling his tail.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, they can be really mean. The babies.
Everybody get
But I
your
mean-
record button ready.
Super pretty. super pretty. I'm not going to pull him out of there because I know this one is one of the meanest ones out of all the babies I do have. And then I do have a hypo too, but they're I don't even like messing with them too much when they're babies, like handling them and that, just because I literally like I said, I have only got 3 clutches in my incubator. I got some snakes from a friend that I have to sell because he's getting out of the business. Somebody did want to see that pin ultramelt clown. She just shed and crapped, so she's a little bit skinnier probably than what it says on the thing for the weight. But this is that pin ultramelt clown female that's on the auction.
Ah, look at that.
Nice.
Knockout, you still there, dude? Because there's the one you were eyeballing, sir.
There it is.
Knockout got one a pin het for me, and then he got a ultramel yellow belly het clown male that it's a breeder he got from me too. I got another cool animal. Here's one cool animal that's for sale on Morph Market. I'm probably going to end up keeping it because it's getting to have some good size on it. But it's an OD Enchi leopard yellow belly clown double het hypo pied female. And I mean,
see, I love that. That's my wheelhouse, man.
Yeah, she's 600 grams. I mean, it's a nice looking one, and I'm thinking about taking her down because I don't have all these genes in some of the other animals I've got. So, but I do have like my friend, that's getting. Brother. Here's a really cool one. Oh, it's in shed. Maybe I'll get another one that's in here. Say what that's not in shed. So this is an Axanthic Enchi blade clown.
Dang.
Love it.
Axanthic Enchi blade clown.
Brother, if you ever get tired looking at that one, you let me know. That thing is awesome.
I have three of them. I'm selling them all. I might keep one. Here's a super banana pied. My friend, like I said, he's getting out of the business, so he gave me like 60 snakes to some of them I'm going to keep, some of them I'm going to sell. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much the baby room. Like I said, it's got this whole wall of racks for the babies.
Nice,
and I do have a few racks over here, but they're not, there's nothing hooked up. The colubrids, which are those bull snakes, I've got them in them other racks because there's no heat in there, and it's 82 degrees in the room, and you don't want to have them. You don't even want to have them over that at all. Not even on a hot spot. But yeah, so that's
if they're local to you. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I mean, like they can withstand like 50-degree temperatures and everything, just like the Gilas. I can show the boas. One of them. This is the one that bit me. A lot of people don't like it. Ball pythons and boas in the same room because boas can carry IBD and they can live with it their whole lives, but ball pythons can't, so they would literally die. But like, this is a albino motley jungle Key West jungle motley albino boa. She's probably a year out from breeding, but I got 7 females, and if I like, these are mostly going to be just like a fun thing for me and like wholesale stuff because it's just I can either sell my rats, my jumbo X breeder rats for $3 a piece, or I could feed some of them to boas, and I could feed some of them to these boa constrictors and breed these boas, learn how to breed them, and I could do like maybe 6 litters a year at 20 babies. That's 120 baby boas at $300 a piece on average. Say I wholesaled them at 150. I mean, there's boas in here that'll give me like $20,000 litters. So I mean, I'm gonna have a variety of stuff. So like, if I do 6 litters and they average 10 grand a litter, I mean that's $60,000. Well, they're literally eating for free because they're eating all those ex-breeder rats that I normally would sell for $3 each to a retic breeder. So I figured, well, what? Screw it. I'm just going to do 6-7 litters of boas. I'm never going to do probably over 100 clutches of ball pythons. I don't even know if I want to do 100 because 80 last year I had over 500 babies, and I just don't want that anymore. I'd rather have higher end snakes and the only thing is like the cheaper snakes are what sells better because people buy them as pets and then they figure out about the ball pythons, about all the mutations and everything. Then it sparks them to get into the hobby. You know, so I mean that's pretty much about it. But man, we've been here for 2 hours.
Yeah.
It don't take long.
It goes by quick,
I
brother.
can be here all night. There's times where like there's a podcast on YouTube. It's called Hair Down Fridays. It's with Keys. I go on there, and I've been on there, and they'd be on there for like 7-8 hours.
Yeah.
I need to catch some of those, man, because I run in some of the same clicks as Wiz and Keys, and I know they're so prolific. They're always out there making content. I mean, they're very busy.
Them guys are always on YouTube. Like they do like 2 or 3 radio shows a week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
they're busy. They're hustling.
Wiz and Keys, they got Friday and Saturday, and then they've also got a couple during the week. Yep, Leland Riker's Reptiles. Leland, he's in there almost every week too.
Yeah. That's awesome.
He'll usually come in early, and he'll have to leave because they got to eat dinner. And then maybe he comes in a little later after they're done eating or whatever, and shows some animals and whatever else. But yeah, he's usually in there almost every Friday, at least for a little while, at least to say hello, show a couple of animals, or show the crazy kids running around, and then he got to take them to dinner, or they got to eat dinner, and then he gets off. You know, but there's a lot of people in and out of there too, you know.
That's cool. Yeah, I respect what those guys do, man. They're always hustling. The Cat, I've been chatting more and more with JTK lately. I actually don't know what's his name.
JTK, I don't even know what his name is. He actually wouldn't follow me back, so I think I deleted him. Because like some people like, okay, like, man, it don't take much for you to check your followers back. Like, if I'm gonna follow you and we're gonna talk, and like even if we bounce in the boxes like this, whatever, you know, I don't want to be following all kinds of people that don't want to follow me back. You know, I'm just not.
Right.
You know, I do got some like big time content creator people. You know, like life coach type people and people that, you know, traveling type things. I got them, and they got millions of followers. They're probably not going to follow you back. But any Joe Blow, like all these reptile people, like if they don't follow me back most of the time, man, I don't even follow them.
Right. Well, your time is valuable, man. You can only mess around with so much. You can't, you know, it's reciprocal.
That's another thing here too is I do have 2 rat guys. Like I said, everybody, thanks for the gifts and everything. But I do got 2 guys that help with the rats. And like, man, if I had to do all the rats, all the snakes, take care of my house, take care of my 2 dogs. I got 2 Dobermans. I got turtles downstairs in the house. If I had to take care of all this stuff by myself and not get any help, man, I'd be working 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just not feasible. And that's one reason, like, I did have 280 adult female ball pythons. I'm down to 150 because I just don't need more than that. I really don't. And
It's a good plan.
Ozzy Boyd's is a perfect, like, you can go into some of his old YouTubes. He don't like me. I'll tell you that right now, because we had some bad business dealings. He don't like me, but I'm going to be 100. He's on there explaining you don't need all these snakes. If you get some, upgrade and get rid of some of your old breeders and keep upgrading and upgrading and upgrading. And here's another thing. With that being said, as a business thing, here's the thing about it. If you run these females down and you breed them until there literally has no value in them and there's no value in the babies, you're going to have a hard time selling those adult females. If you breed them 2 or 3 clutches and you get what you want out of them and move them out the door, your chances of selling them and getting a higher value for those females as you're upgrading is better.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that. That makes perfect sense.
Instead of trying to run the project down till wholesale value and then you basically don't get any value for the females at all.
Yep.
So
these are good plans. And I really appreciate some of the ideas that you take from, this higher level of production, and how that, Joe Blow like me, or people that are in the comments and stuff that are trying to grow and come up. There's definitely some things that we could take away from this. And I have ever since I met you on here. is kind of learn and internalize and just tweak my game a little bit.
Yep.
That's what you have to do, because if you don't do that, you get left behind, or you get caught in the hoopla of being like no. I don't know if you guys know who Chun Koo is. D Reptiles. He's out of Florida.
I don't think so. No.
Chun Koo has like 3,000 clutches a year.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, they got like whole sheds full of animals that are completely filled with animals. The Martin Kimbell, Reptile Industries, Fireball Reptiles. You know him, Fireball Reptiles?
Yeah, I know Fireball.
Fireball is actually Reptile Industries. I have a YouTube video 13 years ago. They have a 40-acre farm in Naples, Florida, where they're doing tortoises, iguanas, turtles, Gila monsters, ball pythons, boa constrictors. Massive operation. It's 40 acres. And they're, most of the people coming up, we don't want that kind of responsibility. We don't want to do that. We want to make cool stuff. Maybe have an extra bedroom in the house that you can make an extra $100K off of or something. I mean, $100K isn't no extra. That's a full-time job at $100,000 for most people. So why wouldn't you have a small room in the house, 150 to 200 animals, maybe 500 with babies or something like that, and make $100,000 a year or something, or a couple $100,000 a year?
That sounds like a fantastic plan all the way around.
I have a guy that I sell rodents to every week. He's been screwing me on the rodent orders. Used to literally buy $2,000 a week. Now he's down to $1,300 because it's eating at his savings. But he's got like 1,000 breeder females. He's feeding them every other week because he's not really breeding them because he doesn't want to pound them with food. So it's just like, I don't want to do that. If those females made you $10,000 to $15,000 clutches 5 or 8 years ago, you greedy asshole, you better start feeding your animals.
Right?
That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, dude, everything here gets offered food at least once a week unless I'm super busy and I need to take like a week off. But there's times where I'm in here pounding these animals with food and they don't need to eat. They can skip a week because they've been fed so damn heavy.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, this ridiculous. I mean, once a week, a decent sized meal. I mean, this guy be getting. He never feeds medium rats to adult females that are 3,000 grams. He feeds them one small rat a week. Well, guess what, buddy? You better be in there feeding them 2 or 3 small rats in a week because they ain't 3,000 gram females giving you 5 eggs. Your production is in the shit, man.
Yep. Yeah, and someone said F that maintenance feeding, and that's true, man. I totally agree with you.
But listen, if you have females giving you 10 eggs and you're maintenance feeding them to give you them 5, they're giving you 5 eggs on maintenance feeding, and you got females that will give you 10 eggs if you don't maintenance feed them, why don't you sell half of them and get the same amount of production by feeding them properly?
Right. Focus your efforts, both in your purchases, your plans, and your feeding.
There you
Focus
go,
your
right
effort.
there.
And I'm going to tell you the truth. There's a lot of greedy scumbag people in this business that they only care about the money side. Listen, I live in an uncorporated town. I'm a half hour. I can't even get Uber Eats out here. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I can't get Uber Eats. I got to drive 5 miles, meet the Uber at the gas station if I want to get Uber Eats. Or I drive 20 miles and I just go get my own damn food. Now, whatever. I like living out here. I do whatever I want. Nobody bothers me. But the thing is like these people that are just so greedy. Like, I mean, come on. We can do better. We don't need to be maintenance feeding these animals. If you're not going to take care of them, and you're not going to feed them properly, if you're not going to breed them, get rid of them.
That is entirely true.
I know people that have $30,000 a month overheads that are in this business. I mean, Bob Vu will tell you tomorrow night. When I get in there tomorrow night, I'm going to ask Bob, hey, Bob, what costs more, that $100,000 car payment or that $1 million house note? What costs more? He's going to tell you right out it's the car. The car is more than the house payment.
that Corvette was it blue?
Yeah, it's $105,000 or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, baby, I would do it. I would do it if I could. Trust me.
You're
If I
dang
could,
right.
I mean,
You're dang right. If you can afford it, get it.
I mean, I got a Jaguar outside. I don't do any Patreon or any kind of like. I could do Patreon because I got enough knowledge that I could spit stuff for days.
Oh, yeah. You never run out.
I got more knowledge than 80%, 90% of the people that do have a Patreon account out there. That's the funny thing. You know, I've been doing this since 2001. I've actually been doing this. So you're looking at 23, 24 years. My first question, you know, I mean, yeah, like 21 years, 22 years. So like, I mean, I've been doing this a while.
so you went full time. You left the 9 to 5. What, 15 years ago?
No, I left 3 years ago. I was doing this I literally was doing this since then, and I was working a full-time job. Then my cousin, he was homeless for a while, so I let him live here. He took care of all the rats, but me and him had some discrepancies where he didn't want to do work. So, like, if I'm here and I'm giving him I didn't make him pay rent. He just lived with me, and he got a free cell phone. He got free cable TV, free internet, free shower, no wear and tear on a vehicle.
Hey, go ahead and send me that application. I'll fill it out.
Yeah.
And have references tomorrow, sir.
He couldn't drive, you know, so I let him basically live here for nothing, and I gave him like $200 a week or whatever. You know, so he got $800 a month plus all the food he wanted, all the cable TV, the internet, everything. Anytime he needed anything, I would drive and get it for him. So it was all wear and tear on my vehicle, my gas. He never gave me any money, so he got all that. But he was drinking too much, so I had to get him out of here.
See it, and I don't drink anymore. So, man, I'm sounding like a really good candidate right now, man. I am a hard worker. I do like 80, 90 hours a week between full time and the house. Let me tell you.
Yep. Well, I got an office area. Hey, we can go down there. I think I get Wi-Fi in there, and I got a really comfortable chair in there too. I got a ring light down there for broadcasting. I can go down there and I can just hang out in there for maybe another. I'll stay till 9:30 if you guys want. It's kind of dark in
We
here.
got 20 minutes. Oh, you know what we should do while you're transporting from A to B right there? Let's tell them what next week's guest. Tomorrow night, Bob Vu. We've covered that. So it's part of the heavyweights week. Next Wednesday, that is the beginning of the new month, and we're gonna have Frog Daddy.
Frog Daddy. Woo!
A buddy of mine from the last 5 years, Alex.
Dart frogs.
Poison dart frogs. He is not just a keeper; he's an expert. It's gonna be awesome.
So this is my this is like an office, like not an office area, but this is like all my electrical panels, because this was a factory at one time. I got a 3-bedroom house that's built onto this place. But this whole, you know, I could bring all my snakes down in this room and take everything down here if I really wanted. And in my area, it's not even like an office. I do everything off my phone anyways, so there's just like not an office. I mean, but this is all like I built last year. And then I'm just going to do a quick view. I'm not going to go in there or anything. But I'm just going to show the people because I keep a light on it all. But this is my rat room in here. Like all automatic watering. All automatic watering. It comes out the ceiling for the middle rat. The thing for there. There's fan in the corner of the wall. There's a pipe off of my AC, my central air, that goes in here and keeps the rats air conditioned. I mean, you can see there's a wall over there just like there is here on that side, and then there's these racks, and they're big cement tubs and then small cement tubs. I mean, it's an operation.
Ha! To say the
You know,
least.
that's a big rat room. There isn't a lot of people that have rat rooms like that.
No, not like
You know,
that.
so, no,
Maybe
see,
like Rodent Pro.
I seen Sterling Nelson's rat room out here, and that thing was phenomenal. But now it's all wiped out, and he's done.
Yeah, he's done. He's done.
Yeah, I went down there and
Sterling-
we picked up a whole bunch of feed that he was getting rid of for a friend of mine up here. She bought a bunch from him. We went down and he showed, man, here it is all cleaned out. So his rat room was He was completely remodeling it and putting it back to a house.
Well, yeah, that whole.
I mean, that place
well,
is nice.
Sterling, that place is a mansion.
Yeah.
Sterling runs a hedge fund. He had 600 adult females at one time, ball python breeder females. He had 600. And he cut his rodent production way back. He had full-time employees for the rodents. He had his own custom blend of feed being made. Like that guy was.
Yep,
wow.
he did.
He was serious, but he has like a lot of stocks and he's got money invested all over. So like.
Yeah,
you know,
he said he wanted to. He said he wanted to travel more and stuff like that. So he's just downsizing smaller and.
Yep.
Getting them brought in now or frozen thaw and doing whatever he does. So it was cool.
Yep. Yeah, he's a super nice guy though. I've known him. I've sold him snakes. I've sold Justin Kabilka snakes. I bought snakes from Justin. I've sold Sterling snakes. I bought snakes from Sterling. I've sold snakes. I've done trades with Bob Vu for higher end animals. I've sold snakes and traded snakes and stuff with some of the biggest names in this business. Justin's the biggest name that there is in this business.
Right.
And I've done business with him before. I've bought animals from other people that originally got them from him. And, but that's another thing too. Like, here's another thing too. What I'm gonna tell these people. There's 23 of them in here, and they're gonna get some really good insight here on this one. Now, when you buy your animals, if you're gonna do multi-gene recessives, you better go out and buy some females first, because I'm gonna tell you why. Go out and buy yourself a double visual female before you buy males. This is why. Knockout, this is why, partially. Because if you would have had an adult ultramel clown female on the deck, you would have be able to breed those freeway clown head ultramels to an ultramel clown, and you would have had asphalt ultramel clowns and yellow belly ultramel clowns in your first clutch. Now you don't have a double visual female, so you're not going to get there right away. If you always start with a female double recessive that maybe even het for a triple, you're never going to wear out her. She's never going to wear out her welcome. You can breed her to 8 gene males, and you get a male out of there, and you breed it right back to the mom.
Yeah.
So
You say get your females first.
always get your females first. Always. And if you're doing multi-gene recessive, always get your females first, because this is why. If you don't have adult females, what are you going to do with a male double visual if you don't got adult females? If you got some adult females, you can make your hets. Here's another thing. Who in the heck wants to take a double het male with 2 or 3 codom genes, 4 codom genes, double het male, and breed it to a double visual female? Why would you want to take that low-grade male and breed it to that badass female double visual? Double het male. You should be breeding double het female to double visual males, or double visual females to double visual hets for like a triple, or visual codom visual hets. Never breed a double het male with 8 codom genes to a double visual female. That's a complete waste of time.
Word. Okay.
Yes, Creighton, I wouldn't have did that. That's just my thing. I mean, you could literally produce a $20,000 clutch out of that female. Now you made possible hets. Now you got to test them. And if they test out, what are your odds? 1 in 512 on getting a triple het? You got to think smart, not hard in this business, especially with this fast pace as it's moving and as many people that are doing this now, with as many animals that are out there. You got to think smart, and you got to plan your breeding smart, because if you don't, you're going to get caught with your pants down. And people are, and that's another thing too. People are out here spending their hard-earned money that they work a 9-to-5 job for. Maybe they got a little bit of a side hustle that they can make some extra money on, but they're working hard to get these animals and spend that money on these animals. People do not deserve to be ripped off. They deserve to be able to make their money back.
So your heads and your females, your visual and your males, right?
Yeah.
You're putting your bigger bucks into a stud male that can do multiple projects or at least increase your odds.
Yes.
You're saying 3 or 4 females that are hets that are compatible.
Yes.
And then that is where you start to see some success. And then you take your holdbacks from those 3 or 4 females if you're lucky enough, and you put them together. Are you putting them back to the dad, or which way would you suggest?
I don't really want to do that. I want to buy outcross bred stock. I don't really want to put babies together if I don't have to. Like even those Pieds triple het ultramale axanthic clown, I'm going to create another. I have only females right now, and I need to make a male. So I'm going to create a male probably from a whole different bloodline or super bred out. I'm going to breed that. I was going to breed my original male, the father to those babies up there. I was going to breed him to an axanthic pied that came from France to just have more outcross stock. You know, they wouldn't be full-blooded brother and sisters to be breeding them together. I don't really like that. I've done it in the past when I first started because I didn't have no options.
Yeah.
And the animals were more expensive. But I would suggest people to not try to be inbreeding. You know, at least do like half brother and half sister.
I was going to say, what about half siblings? What if you have 2 females unrelated and they share one stud? So then you got their babies.
At least do it that way. Like, don't breed the direct siblings together and stuff. You know? I just don't that's just not something I really want to do, you know?
Let me ask you this question, because we get this a lot, and it's come up in the comments down here. He'll come back in just a second.
All right. Leland Riker got some nice knowledge to share right there.
We're getting this again. So when someone asks you, they say, I got this snake right here. What should I breed with this? That right there is, I don't know because I'm not you, right? You like what you like. I like what I like.
100%, you got to do what you like and what you want to do. Everybody has different ideas. Leland, we don't want to talk about politics here. That's not a good subject in the chats to be talking about politics.
Yeah.
I don't mind politics, but if you want me to be 100% honest, all politicians are worthless. They're not for the working class people or the people like us. They ain't for people like us. They're for their loopholes and their rich snobby people, these lobbyists and all this other bullshit. Come on now. That's as far as I'm gonna say about any kind of politics, because I'm anti all government, because they're not for the good of the people. And then you guys want to talk about politics. One more thing, and then I'm gonna quit. You got BlackRock on both sides running the show, billions and billions of dollars, selling guns to this country, selling guns to that country. You guys need to really know about what's going on out here in this world. Man, it just, I don't even like seeing political nothing on I see that, Leland. It was that, I see the Trump thing and whatever else. I don't even like seeing that kind of stuff.
No, that was just his handle. I don't think anybody brought it.
Yeah, I think that was just his handle. Well, back to the snakes, guys.
We lost you there. Kyle,
yeah, I don't think they might have been talking politics, but that's okay, right? Guys, get your head out of your ass and get straight.
Exactly. You know, and I mean, I just, you know, but yeah, as far as the animals, people got to do what they like. Because I'm going to tell you another thing. This is coming from somebody that's been doing this.
Right.
You know what?
Rikers wants to know, do you have a moment to talk about your savior? Rikers has got a question.
I don't care about religion at all. Like, that's something that you believe what you want. But anyways, so
hey, Rikers brought it up, not me, man.
As far as like these animals, like, man, like what I've learned the hard way a lot. Like, some people be investing in snakes just because of the money, just to make the money. But I'm going to tell you something. If you really don't have a passion for that project and you really don't like it, don't buy it. I don't give a shit how much money you think you're going to make on it, because I'm going to tell you something. A lot of times when you spend big money on animals and you don't put the work in, the work's already been put in and the money's already been had by somebody else. So if you think you're getting away with something, you ain't getting away with shit.
Yep.
And that's the honest to God's truth, because I was probably the third person in the world to produce hypo clown pies, you know? And the thing is, like, I've been working that project for 14 years from total scratch, you know? And I feel like people should work with what they like, and the money will come after that.
That is entirely true, and that's what I hear from a lot of other big timers. Be proud of what you make, and you have so much more sense of accomplishment and pride when you've produced this animal and you take each step and build the genes to get where you want to go.
Yes.
It's way more rewarding, and that's how you earn your come-ups. No one's going to respect you.
Knockout right there. Knockout bought a yellow belly ultramel het clown, and he bred it to like a super asphalt pastel het clown, and he got 2 pastel highway clowns het ultramel. He's the only one I know that's produced any of those so far. He's the only one. And he's a small-time person, and nobody really knows who he is.
I do. He's a
We
good
do.
dude.
You know, there's small-time people out here putting in some work and doing it, and they're getting some cool stuff.
Trump's cavalry, not bringing up politics. Those shouldn't be bred. I mean, he was asking about Wobble and a few other Champagne and Spider. That's true. I'm not a fan of Spider or Hidden Gene Woma, as far as it's just not my thing. But
I got some Hidden Gene Woma. And I'll tell you what, man, there ain't nothing that beats a Xanthic DG pastel spider. That is the most badass black and white snake that there is. But man, that spider, like, dude, if the spider didn't have the wobbles, dude, that gene is a killer gene, and they eat well.
I agree completely. Visually, it's phenomenal.
Yes, but just the issues has got people scared too. And in Europe, they outlaw them. You can't even sell them at a show.
Right.
What?
Yeah, they outlaw spiders. You can't sell them at shows.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah,
Dude, even in the UK, they can't feed live. They have to feed frozen thaw.
Canada has some things where they can't have rats in certain parts of the country. They can't have rats. They can only have live mice. They can have rats frozen, but they can have live mice and frozen mice, but they can't have live rats.
Yeah.
Chess, let Kyle answer, but myself, I steer clear of spiders. I just do, but
I steer clear from spiders. I've got one in my collection right now just because I gave it to a friend and now he gave it back to me. So now I got to get rid of it.
Hey, I think Chess might be interested. I don't know, man.
If you want one for a pet, that's fine. But I don't want to work with it because of that. And like things that that's potential for kinking, I don't even want to mess with that.
Yup. Allelic genes like the Hidden Gene Woma and the spot nose makes like wobbly snakes. The super blackhead is not wobbly. The blackheads are not wobbly. They actually straighten out the spider. The blackhead spiders look like a normal, but they have a spot on their head and you can't even see the spider in them, and they don't have any wobble either.
Well, Poke Morse had a good question. What do you think about someone putting all their money trying to find something new?
Huh.
Yeah, but like you said earlier,
Poke morphs, I'm going to tell you something. Realistically, probably at the end of the day, to be honest with you, you ain't got the kind of money that you're going to want to get something new, because you know what? Somebody in Africa, Ralph Davis has guys over in Africa that send him photos of snakes. He's got them cameras over there. They send him the things. There's guys that already have. Stefan Broghammer out of Germany is one of the main importers for ball pythons. And if Outback Reptiles, they're one of the main importers. You think they're going to give you something where they can possibly make $1 million off of it? They ain't giving you shit. You're going to be 10th in line. So you might think you're getting something, but you really ain't getting something. That's just my logic, and I'm just going to be 1,000.
No, you're right, but it's like what you said before, you know. Put that money in these 3 or 4 animals versus right that one. Spread it out so you got something coming back.
Yes.
I see the phrase "world's first" thrown around by a lot of people nowadays. It's kind of unsubstantiated, and just because it might be a world's first combo doesn't mean it's valuable. And I think people convolute what those two things mean. They don't necessarily go together, right?
Hey, if you're in a way, if you're not first, you're last. And here's another thing. When you have big investments, it's not about getting the first one made. It's about getting to the bank. That's what it's really about if you're doing it for an investment standpoint. And I'm not going to lie. It's about getting in the green and getting to the bank. And another thing is there's a lot of people that think they got world's firsts out here, but I'm going to be honest with you. I know people and I've seen people in personal collections where they got 20 or 30 world's firsts and nobody's ever seen them before, and they've had them for 5 years. So when you think you got a world's first, I think you better sit back down and think about that for a minute, because you probably don't.
Yeah, because you had one hatchling come out and you say it's a world's first, doesn't mean someone else has already been spending, like you said, 5 years, 10 years, proving it's a gene that you can breed and replicate. Someone before you is already likely doing that. So I guess it kind of brings me back to the question that someone else had asked in the comments. How do you get around that concept? Do you just stumble on it? Do you have $1 million to throw at it? What do you do?
Here's one thing. I have a brand new mutation that nobody else has. You know how I got it? My friend that's getting out gave it to me. You know how he got it? He bred a hypo champagne female and it was hidden inside the hypo champagne. They didn't even know what was in there.
Wow.
And here's another thing. The static mutation was founded by Fred Kick. It's similar to acid and confusion. You know, they're all similar, but confusion and acid was proven not genetically the same. But here's another thing. Spontaneous mutation. The more and more we breed these ball pythons, we're going to hatch mutations in captivity.
Do you know of any that exist now?
Spontaneous mutation? Yes, I do know of multiple spontaneous mutation morphs. Static is one of them. The guy proved the gene to be, he bred a pastel to something. He hatched out this weird pastel. It was a pastel static, which looks like a confusion. He bred it. He proved it to be genetic, but he bred the parents twice before he bred that female, and he never produced another one out of them parents. Spontaneous mutation. That's how it happens in the wild.
Yeah.
It's no different than albino deer, piebald deer. They're popping up. Melanistic deer, melanistic bobcats, albino capybaras. Where's my gift? I don't think we have that gift here, but I know there is gifts. Capybara, that's a Brazilian thing. All the Brazilian people, they have that gift on their gift list. We don't have it here, you know, but yeah, so, I mean, that's what it is. It's spontaneous mutation that comes out of the middle of nowhere.
That's what Basement said you are, sir. I just wanted to throw that out there. Jason's coming in hot. Shots fired. Shots fired.
Shots fired.
I know dude, I'm 1,000, and I know like I said, I got a lot of knowledge that a lot of people don't have. They think they might have. They got a Patreon, but they don't know nothing.
Dude, you're walking down encyclopedia. I'm telling you.
Oh, I am. I got all kinds of information. I could sit here all night.
Oh, we know, Basement. We were just
Well, we
giving
know.
you a
We
hard
love
time,
it. We
buddy.
love
We
it,
know.
dude. We love it.
And he's from Wisconsin too. That's why he's talking shit.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to be meeting Basement and Jen and Rev Tyler. I'm going to be meeting them in St. Louis, man. I can't wait. Are you going to St. Louis?
Am I? I don't know if I will or not. When is it?
November 9th and 10th, man. I'm just going. I'm not. Ashley from TNA Chameleons is going. Ozark Ball Pythons is going. I'm thinking about running just a fun. Just it's all social. None of us are vending. Oh no, Jay, the basement is. But
I've never been to that show before.
I don't know that they've had an NARBC in St. Louis. To be honest with you, I don't.
Yeah, they have had it a couple years already, but I've never been to it before. It's so close to Chicago, and Chicago is so big compared to St. Louis, and it's like it's a hub. Chicago, you can export out of the Chicago airport with a broker, literally export without an export license. You can ship out of Chicago to like Thailand, Taiwan, Korea, Japan. If you get a vet check and you get a broker to do it, and you got to pay them, you can do it. You can do it in Minneapolis. You could do it in Chicago. You could do it in New York. You could do it in Miami. You could do it in LA.
Yeah.
Dallas.
I know St. Louis would just be a social trip for you, but I thought I'd throw it out there. So
I might go to it. I'm not sure because I know Jeff Nemanius, Gateway City Reptiles, the GCR Axanthics. They proved the GCR to be compatible with the MJ line.
Really?
Yep.
We had a couple of questions here.
Sorry, I already actually I just had somebody ask me about vending on my table, and this year I'm gonna let somebody else vend on my table with me. I'm still gonna go and bring like one display, and they're gonna bring a few because I don't have enough animals. All my animals are going late.
Yeah, you said that a few months ago. Yeah. You said you're not going to give up your table because it ate your wait list, but you're going to bring T-shirts, damn it, if you had to.
Yeah, I bring pens if I got to. Put buckets of pens out there for people to take.
Hey, someone's asking, what's a good price for female banana, orange dream, Wookiee, het clown? Is $1,100 too much?
Cavalry. I think I was gonna say 750 to 1,000. So that's right there at 1,000.
1,100 maybe shipped, or maybe get them down to 1,000 shipped.
975 shipped. Offer them 975 shipped, and they're gonna take the money.
There you go, right there.
I know how to do deals. I've been doing this long enough. I know how to get deals. I know a guy that you could offer him 50% of anything he has for sale, and he would take the money. I'm not that way. I'll keep my good stuff before I sell it for 50% off.
Yeah, I got one of your productions on my watch list on my liked animals.
But I do got that Ultramel pin clown on there, and I'm hoping that goes for a decent amount of money. I mean, I don't need 2 or 3 females. I don't need that many.
Right.
One is enough for me. I have 5 Ultramel clowns. I got 75 double visual females, and they're almost all breeders. I don't need to be keeping any more stuff unless it's extra genes, like 2 or 3 genes. Leland, I might be coming out to California in January for maybe Pomona or that big show that's out there. I think that's in January, maybe February.
I think it's
February. I think they do the Pomona show in January, twice a year.
Yep. And
that's 2 hours for me.
To be honest with you, I think I might not even do that one. And I'm gonna do Tinley, but I've been really, really seriously thinking about going over to the Ham Germany show.
Ooh.
And checking out the red light district over there, and I'm just gonna go over there.
Hey, when in Rome,
or Houghton Snake Days which is in the Netherlands. I might go to that one because I know that there's a lot of fun to be had there too.
Well,
Big Hoss, you ain't got enough money for a Stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper is a non-genetic mutation, as far as I know. Stormtrooper is black Axanthic, and that's why the thing turned out black and white like that.
Yeah, you can't hardly you don't even hardly see it. No. How many you seen?
If you want a black and white snake like that, you have to get an Axanthic Desert Ghost, which is like a $5,000 to $7,000 animal. If you can even find regular Axanthic DGs, you can't find female regular Axanthic DGs unless her Het Clown Bob has one for $20K. Yeah. Cosmos, there might be other mutations out here coming out soon that might be the same as Cosmos. And to be honest with you,
I like the mutation, but I don't know if I want to get one because Ralph Sims is a dick, and I've been asking him to buy one for like 8 years, and now Justin's already made DG Cosmos clowns. Like I've been in this business for 20 years, and nobody's ever given me my fair shot to buy in at the beginning of projects.
Really?
They've all been shitbags to me. They said, "Oh, you're not going to hold the prices," but you know what? Here's another thing I'm going to let you guys all out there be well aware of. Watch where you buy from, because here's the thing. There's a lot of prices that are out there posted online that animals are being sold for way cheaper behind closed doors. Friend deals, trades, 50% off, people buying wholesale lots of animals.
That's
and getting
very true. I have been coming across this.
Getting one animal in a wholesale package, buying like 10 snakes, getting one animal that's worth like 5-10 grand for like a quarter of the price, just because they're taking 10 or 20 other bullshit animals from the breeder. That's the kind of stuff that goes on out here, guys. So, you know, who's ever in here, be careful where you buy from.
And on the other flip side of that, connections, it goes a long way.
110%. The networking and getting out there and getting to know people and talking to people. And I have a good friend that doesn't want to sell. He wants to sell expensive snakes to new people coming in the business. To new people coming in, because he doesn't want to sell them to these other breeders that are just going to shit can the prices down. He wants to keep the prices high.
Big Hoss, all you got to do is send the funds my way, and I'll get with Kyle and make an investment and
Trump's
breed you
Cavalry,
something
I've only got like 15 to 20
no
snakes
one's
on there
got.
right now. Trump's Cavalry. Mine is Royal Ambassador Reptiles on Morph Market.
Go give them a follow. Speaking of which, on Instagram, follow them on Instagram.
Yes, you can go on my Instagram here. I'm not in the tornado either. They can keep that one. I got enough mutations over here, and that's the problem with a lot of these people is, oh, I want this, and I want this, and I want this, and I want this, and it's all for the money, and they never get, you know what? Like I told my friend the other day, and I don't want to talk like this, but man, you got a better off chance of taking and going in your front door naked and doing what you got to do and hitting a woman across the road with your whatever, going from your house, than to try to be getting in some of these projects and thinking you're going to be on top of it. People like Justin have massive numbers of animals, and you cannot compete with these people. You just cannot.
And that is so true. I feel like Jules from the Pulp Fiction, that, you know, that I walk the path of the righteous. You know, you've got to stick to your path. And you've really got to, you can't be all things to all people. You're just going to spin your wheels.
No, and you also cannot tell everybody what you're breeding and what you're doing either, because here's the problem with it. Then people go race to do it so that they can sell the shit and get the money before you.
Yep.
And there's also people out here that literally, I see a lot of people breed like double hets and triple hets and stuff, and sometimes they hit those badass snakes and they sell the first ones they got thinking they really got something. You're going to get your ass handed to you. That's what you're going to get. Like, you know, I always tell people, wish in one hand and shit in the other and see what comes first.
My grandpa always said that.
That's where I got it from, was my grandfather.
Let's hear it for the grandpas.
You know, so I mean, you know, you have to be quiet, because if you tell everybody, zebra, they can keep that. If they think zebra clown is going to do anything, zebra clown is going to look like a blade clown. You know, lace combos, I got some lace. I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of stuff people don't have, too. My biggest thing is the multi-gene recessive things are so hard to make. So there can be other people in those projects, but you're never going to race it to the bottom because people just can't produce the numbers.
That's wild. Well, what else you got for us, Kyle? You want to wrap this up, buddy?
We can wrap it up anytime. I'm getting kind of tired.
I need to eat dinner.
I just had 2 pieces of I don't eat a lot of carbs, so I just had 2 pieces of cheese and 2 pieces of salami.
You're like me. I don't eat a lot of carbs either anymore. It's
No, I lost
Be-
60. I lost almost 60 pounds, and I'm not eating like that anymore ever
Yeah,
again.
I lost 100
Wow.
pounds doing it. Beef, butter, bacon, and eggs.
Yep, I don't eat no noodles, no bread. If I do, I get like a keto bread, and it's literally like $14 a loaf, and it lasts me
Yeah,
like
my
3
biggest issue is I like to partake in some devil's lettuce so I get the munchies, and I ate too much ice cream. But other than that,
that's one thing I can't give up is ice cream because my mom, she's an addict too. She's got to have a bowl
Right.
of ice cream like every night, you know.
right. So other than that, I'm beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, and a little too much ice cream. So
Yep, that's where my downfall is ice cream. I
yeah,
drink soda,
so
but I only drink.
it shows some of the weight's come back because of that. But I know
drink
what to
zero
do,
sugar soda only. Zero sugar
Yes.
soda only.
dude. I just drink water. I don't drink anything but water.
Okay.
That's it. So I know beer, nothing. I mean,
Hey, basement. As a matter of fact, it was Longhorn sliced Colby Jack cheese. that I
hey,
had.
you get your you get your big old block of get your big old roll of some donkey dick sausage and a block of log jam cheese and slice that shit off, son.
Dude. Hey, that's what I got in my refrigerator.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, we sit down at the damn fishing hole and do that all day and just
And you know what? You don't gain weight because there's no carbs in it.
no, you don't.
A half a pound is like 2 carbs.
Yeah.
Of meat, and like half a pound of cheese is probably like 4
Eat all the steak and bacon you want. You're good. You're
100%
Yeah,
eggs.
all my stuff improved, got better. So
No, I feel 100% better. Hey, Anthem Exotics, did you want to say something? I see you keep coming in and out.
oh, she hadn't been feeling well, so she just jumped in late.
don't
You
even
good,
know-
girl?
I don't know who she is. I followed her.
Well, no, she's our moderator. She's part of the team. She's just been she's bad
Okay.
under the weather today. So
No, and anybody who's here, you know, before I do wrap up, I kind of was in a relationship, but now I'm not because the person didn't want to say thank you. And I'm just letting everybody know thank you for all the gifts and the support that you gave me while I was here tonight.
Kyle, thank you for hanging out and wanting to hang out with us. We appreciate
I'll
it, dude.
come back.
Through and through.
Yeah,
come back
right
and-
on, Kyle. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I really
man,
appreciate
I'm
it.
just absorbing everything. You're freaking awesome. So
No, and if anybody needs anything, they can literally message me on Instagram. It doesn't have to be about buying snakes. It can be about like, I don't care if you bought snakes from me or not. We're all in this together at the end of the day. And if I know time is valuable and time is money, but I also don't mind helping people too. I don't mind helping people. So
you bet. Well, we
anybody has
appreciate
any
it.
questions and stuff like that, you know, just hit me up on Instagram.
We appreciate it from the Naughty Business family to you. You're welcome at the campfire anytime.
Yeah, buddy, that's the kind of thing this show's about. So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
That means a lot. And I hope people take it to heart that are out there watching tonight.
Exotic A1, you're literally messaging me in DM. You're sharing lives. You're going in other lives that I'm in that you don't even know these people. I mean, you are a pest, A1.
Keep it up, guys. Keep it up, right? That's how you get known. Keep it up.
You know, so I mean, I know who he is because it just always, everywhere I go, he's there.
Naughties. That's right. Heart of Texas. Yep, the Naughties. That's what I call the people that subscribe to the live.
That's right. We got the naughties.
Before I leave, where are you guys from? You're from California, you said, right?
Well, I'm from East Texas originally, Longview, Gilmer. I was born in Louisiana, Shreveport, but I'm out in Bakersfield now. So I've been out here since the military.
Okay, I was gonna say, man, I would get the hell out of there. The cost of living and everything is just
Yeah, well, you know, life happens. I went home for a while, and life happens, and
Jason,
Right.
Jason Amos actually moved to Oklahoma because the taxes and everything was just so high out in California.
Yeah.
if we can get out of here at some point when the kids are done, then you know, my
Okay.
boys go in the Marines next year. I got
Okay.
one left. Then we will, but
Yep.
Jeffson,
What
North
about
Carolina.
you?
I love that state, Jeff.
Where is he from? Constrictly,
Oh,
where are you?
I'm in Jonesboro, Arkansas. I'm from St. Louis, but
Okay.
I lived in Clearwater, Florida for 5 years, and I've lived in Knoxville, Tennessee for 3. But I'm in Jonesboro nowadays.
I've lived here my whole life. I've literally moved twice in two times I've moved in my whole life, and I live a mile from where I grew up where I was a baby. I'm literally a mile down the road from that home. And when I was 15 years old, my parents built another home, and I lived there. And then I moved into this facility. This whole facility cost me $80,000 with a 3-bedroom home built onto it.
That's
But
nothing.
That's nothing. My mortgage is like $320 a month, and then I put like 70 or 80 grand into this. I mean, like I'll show you quick.
That's a win right there to W. Rikers, hey, Mountain Home is
Dude,
only
I
like,
think I'm fixing to
2
just move
hours
to the
from me. I love
Dakotas
it.
where it's cheaper and just go huge.
This is all a brand new bathroom with a fart fan in there and everything. Like I got this all brand new.
Big Hoss, you do not live in the basement. You live out back in that fucking shed.
Yeah, I saw you there, Pure Country, that you're in Sarasota. Sarasota is prettier than Clearwater for sure.
And that damn shed's about to fall down in back of your daddy's house. I know that's where you're staying.
Don't be rude, Dread.
So
That's my nephew. I know what he lives in. I know what my brother put him in.
Hey, dudes.
No, he's actually, no, that Joker's actually got a nice
I got
place he's
4
building.
pairs. I got 4 pairs of Hey Dudes.
Oh, hey, dudes are cool.
I had 1 pair that I had to glue the whole sole back on. 2 weeks after I bought them, the sole fell off, so I took super glue, and they have been good ever since.
Oh my God.
That's right.
Somebody
Crocs
block
all the way,
basement. He said he
basement.
wears
Crocs for the win.
I hate Crocs. I
Oh
wouldn't
my
be-
God, Block Basement. He cannot come to the lives anymore. Oh my
Dude,
God.
I wear Crocs every day.
Like, Crocs.
I'm gonna buy you a
like-
snake charm for your Crocs, Basement, and I want to see you wear them, brother.
Would you show up in Crocs at Tinley? Man, I'm getting a venomous animal to bite you at that show.
That's friggin' toes.
I ain't a Croc fan.
Crocs
Duck
and
boots
socks
all the
in
way. That's
winter.
right. Duck boots all the way. Crocs and socks in the winter. Yeah.
Oh my God, we've
Well,
lost.
I just have like
We've
I just
lost
have
it. This is
boots,
good.
sandals.
This is good.
But anyways, guys, I'm getting tired and I'm gonna eat something. Maybe I'm gonna go into some other lives and like I said, thanks for everything.
Hey, thank
Kyle,
you,
we
man.
appreciate
Thank
it,
you
brother.
so much.
Yep, thank you. Thanks.
All
We'll
right,
see you
guys.
guys
Tomorrow
like I
night,
said.
7 o'clock, Bob Vu. Next Wednesday, we're gonna have. Oh, there we go. Next Wednesday, after that, the beginning of September. What is it? The 4th, I believe. Frog Daddy, buddy of mine, Alex, big time poison dart frog keeper, breeder, working on a conservation project. Dude's multi-discipline collegiate professor. He left that to go full time with Frog Daddy in the last 3 years. Big time. So if you want to see something about poison dart frogs,
Thanks,
beginning of
Chess.
September. It's going to be awesome. You guys ready for tomorrow night?
Let's get it, Bob Vu. Let's get it. The Vu's coming. Kyle said he's going to swing through for that one. So
Bob Vu tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. It's a weird double show week. We're going to do this.
thanks, Basement. We appreciate that, man. We appreciate all the support from every one of you guys out there. Y'all know that. Stay tuned for tomorrow and future shows coming. We
You
did
guys
good
are
today.
awesome.
We did good. We did good. We did real good.
Viewership was steady, long-term steady. It was really good.
We did good.
Basement brother, appreciate you. I wore
Yeah.
this hat to try to troll the Wisconsinite, but he didn't bite.
I know. We did good. I'm happy. The show went well.
Oh, thank you, Basement. All right, guys, you
You
have a
bet.
good night. We'll see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Once again, let's do it. Heavyweight.
Good night,
week.
everybody.
Good
Get some sleep.
night.
Bye.